Welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you, and let's party. Big shout out to the replay gang. Thank you so much for coming back to watch this, even though you missed the live party. Guys, that is the best part, so make sure you're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. So hit that subscribe, ring the bell, and you will never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. Guys, if you'd like to support the channel, head on over to TheIndianJesus.com for your very own official merch. Get something for you and get something for your baby. Only at TheIndianJesus.com. Guys, we do also have a Discord server that is absolutely free to join. Absolutely free, 24/7. We're in there hanging out, having a good time. And like I said, it is a great place to meet people, have interesting conversations, and it is completely free. However, if you are a member of this channel here on YouTube, you can scroll right below the video here, hit that join button. There's a few different tiers here, but it starts at just $2.99 a month. Gets you members only live streams here on YouTube, all that other good stuff. But it also opens up the full Discord server. So you don't only have the free chat, but you have other channels as well, including our voice channel where we hold our after party. So as soon as we are done here, we are headed over there to have an after party. We don't have to worry about any YouTube censors, and you are not stuck behind your keyboard. You're actually on screen with me and everybody else. It's a good time. Come and join us. Shout out to King Nirvana in the building. We got Zippy as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, shout out to Am, who showed me that this Thanksgiving was going on. I don't know if this is. I assume this is something they do every year. But yeah, they were Cenk and his nephew Hasanabi, as he is known, had an interesting discussion. It was actually, I thought it was going to be like, all right, let me just laugh at these idiots. And there's a little bit of laughing at idiots, definitely laughing at idiots, but it was a lot better than I expected. I didn't see the entire thing, but I did see most of it. And originally I thought that maybe we will do sometimes how we do longer streams, like there's different chapters. We'll do a poll of like, okay, do this chapter first, and then, okay, what chapter you guys want? But it actually plays out pretty well. So we'll go as far as we can. We're definitely not going to be able to get through the whole thing. But we will see what we can do. Shout out to M169. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. As always, guys, if you cannot hear the video, please do let me know.
You try to interpret the election in a way that like very clearly was wrong, and now you're saying you're a blasphemer. That's amazing.
Jesus Christ, you loser. Okay, can I?
So yeah, they were talking a little bit, and they were Hasan was like, "Oh, I want to show you this thing, and I want to show you this thing, and I want to show you this thing," and so they're just showing a bunch of clips, and then they're about to get into it. Shout out to Indie Film. Just kidding. Welcome, Guam Tech. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As always, guys, please hit that like button on your way in.
Harry liked it. Harry loved it, dude. Harry Hasan.
Can I just give the correct answer for once? Okay, here we go. So, guys, you're blaming disinformation. There was disinformation. There was the cats and the dogs nonsense. The points you're making about
eating the dogs.
Undocumented immigrants, I agree with Alan, okay? But that didn't cost the election. The main disinformation was about how the election was going to be rigged. And it wasn't rigged. It was dumb. They won it easily. There was no need for that disinformation.
Excuse me. It was too big to rig. That's
too big to rig. All right. I guess I agree with Hasan. Too big to rig. Shout out to the Camcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, be here live, and then you don't gotta worry about it. Welcome to the
That's
party.
Why. Too big to rig. That's what we did, baby.
Do you understand how much time that actually takes to go through and not only rewatch the entire thing that I already did, but then figure out I may as well just make the clips, and people don't watch it anyway. So live party's where you want to be anyway. Hey, look who we got. We got our boy, Nick Luchetti, in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Very good to see you, sir.
Excuse me. It was too big to rig. That's why.
Yeah,
too big to rig.
Right.
That's what we did, baby. That's right. Trump 2024, Trump 2025.
You guys are missing the whole point. The people who are at fault are not other people. It is the candidate, Kamala Harris, the previous candidate, Joe Biden, Democratic Party, Democratic leadership. You guys don't want to admit that they're the problem. They're the cancer in the Democratic Party. So you blindly lash out at the voters, at information, at social media, and you want to shut down anyone who disagrees with you.
Where's the key when you jiggle the keys?
That's later. You know, that actually didn't make the viral clip, which is really funny. I thought that might do it. Because in the middle, as he was talking, do you have it?
Oh, yeah, here it is. Yeah. They pulled it out. Real.
Previously worked as pragmatic decision-making.
If you're not familiar, this guy, can we do that? Of course. This guy that they're making fun of, Alan Lichtman, I think it is. He's the guy who's like, I have these 15 keys that will predict any election. And a lot of people trusted him, and obviously he said Kamala's going to win.
Here it is. Yeah. They pulled it out. Real.
Previously worked as pragmatic decision-making on whether or not the White House party has governed well enough. And then my analysis is based upon what's changed, what's shattered the pattern of 160 years of history. So I have a base.
Full band to you? God, Piers is such a piece of... Oh, my God.
He knows what's good TV.
Oh, my God. He is such a dickhead, dude.
Analysis. I'm not just doing Monday morning quarterbacking.
Jake,
you need to learn some manners.
I brought him back.
Oh, yeah.
Jingle jangle.
Manners.
I brought him back.
Whenever he does that, I got the monkey sounds ready.
Jingle jangle.
Go.
Jingle jangle.
Damn, she got 1.2 million views, dude. Goddamn.
Your act is getting really
I
thin.
mean, brother, I said what was going to go wrong. It did go wrong. I was right. You were wrong in this election spectacularly so with your so-called keys. And now you come and tell us not the Monday morning.
Unlike you, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong.
Are you ever going to learn?
Unlike you.
Well, I actually do that all the time. Anyway, look, they're going to bring this. So first of all, for now, leave poor Alan Lichtman alone, right?
Yeah.
He's just a civilian, whatever. Who cares? Like, I don't know.
Right? It's insane. They said, good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is doing great today. Good to see you guys. The Indian Jesus, thank you, sir. Good to see you. That is why we love you. Positive vibes. Always, always, always good to see you, brother.
I don't know if it's true that people are swatting or doxing him. That's crazy. Why would you bother with a professor who got it wrong?
Yeah.
That's like totally irrelevant. Now, but they're going to bring him back in 2028. And more accurately, they're going to bring him back in 2027 during the primaries.
Yeah.
They're going to primaries. We have a progressive populist, and they have like their corporate douchebag.
No,
they're going to be like, the keys.
No, they're gonna bring him back to talk about how Pete Buttigieg, Josh Shapiro, and gruesome Governor Gavin Newsom are the three top contenders. Maybe throw Kamala in there for a spicy people. I think her political career is done.
Oh, can I tell you why they're doing that? So people.
So as we, now they're kind of getting into like the actual discussion that they're going to be having. So what I haven't been doing as much lately, but I like to have a lens through which we should be watching this. So obviously we're not going to agree with either one of them on anything, or rather everything. Are you coming or not? No? Okay. But they are two very different sides of the left wing. And like there are millions of people who are represented in this video. Millions of people. And there's millions of people who follow Hasan. There's millions of people who follow the Young Turks. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who follow both. But the point being that not only are these two very different aspects of the left wing, but they're two different aspects of the alternative media, online left-wing news space. And it's not often that we on this side of the aisle get to see that clear of a distinction between the two as they go up against each other. And I know that Cenk's moved a little bit more center-ish, not as much as Anna, but I think unlike so many other people on the left, he actually has taken this loss and done some reflection. And so I really this is more to just kind of be a fly in the wall and kind of point out, see, the far leftist one, socialist, Marxist, whatever you want to call them, do this. Whereas, see, Cenk's trying to, this is more an average vote or whatever the case may be. So we are flies on the wall. Let's do it.
People are now talking about, Kamala Harris might run again, like 41% of Democrats or something. I didn't see the poll, but saying that they might vote for her. Number one, they're saying that because she's famous and she just ran. So that's not a reliable number. But the interesting part is they always say that somebody might run. Like for a while, they put out a rumor after Hillary Clinton lost that Chelsea Clinton might run. They do it themselves. Why? It's to increase their market value. Because listen, I know. Because if Kamala Harris says she's not going to run again, well, then her book is less interesting. She gets less for her speeches because she's not going to be Right now, though, if she says I might run again, she might be the future president of the United States, even if it's a
she might be. But yeah, he's actually exactly right about that. I mean, that is the game of politics. Looks like, what do people think would be a good comparison of these two on the conservative and politically homeless side? That's a good question. That is a good question. So I feel like Nick Fuentes is too far right to. Would Nick be a good analog to Hasan? I think we could. Yeah, I'll take that. So we would have maybe Nick Fuentes and like a Steven Crowder. That would be a very interesting very interesting thing. But Crowder's still, staunchly on the right. Maybe even like a Dave Rubin. I'm not a huge fan of Dave Rubin, but yeah, that'd be interesting. Good question. Nick says, it does seem like he's not acting delusional, but actually seeing how the average American is feeling. Yeah, he's definitely waking up. I don't know if he's getting red pilled, but he is waking up. And guys, don't forget about the Swole Stream. Where's my thing? We got our Swole Stream goal. It is the light blue super chats. That's only $2. If we get 15 of them, I'm on the floor for 20 Swole Stream push-ups, and whoever else wants to join and pay themselves.
Going to be right now, though, if she says I might run again, she might be the future president of the United States, even if it's a 10% chance, 20% chance. The Goldman Sachs and Raytheon, et cetera, are all going to pay her for huge speeches. The book is going to sell more, et cetera. You're more marketable if you say you might run again. That's why they literally do it as a business tactic. So she's not going to run again. I got a bold prediction for you guys. Head of USC, President Dean, whatever of USC at some point, because she doesn't want any piece of this. She's so nervous.
She's not very good at this.
She's not good at it. She doesn't want to do it.
As we found out in 2019, and once again, this time around as well.
Yeah, she's got no business running. She didn't want to run. She sucks at it. All she has is talking points. That's why
she barely even has that. Like I said, how about Laura Loomer as Hasan and Michael Knowles as Cenk? So you said politically homeless. I think Michael Knowles is, again, just like Crowder, pretty staunchly on the right. I'd definitely be into. I definitely be into watching that, but I still think that it would be. It wouldn't, like, the types. Maybe it's just because the types of differences that you see on the right are different than the disparities on the left. But I feel like that would be a very calm conversation. Viva Fry for Cenk, but he's too chilled out. I don't know. I like Laura Loomer as the Hasan. But if we're going someone who doesn't have to be politically homeless, I really like putting who did I say before? Who did I say? Oh, Crowder, because he is more of like the everyman type of pundit, as opposed to either being a politician or I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know. Forget what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. Shout out to AIM. Welcome to the party. Yes, Laura Loomer being Hasan, the loonies. Yep, indeed. You're saying if we had this conversation on the right, who would it be? And you did say conservative. Yeah, so I like those. So but Laura Loomer, again, Knowles is I think he'd be too willing to just go in and kind of be like, oh, I feel a little bit differently about that, but yeah, that's cool. Even somebody who's got a little bit of grit in what they're willing. Maybe a Charlie Kirk, but again, Charlie Kirk isn't far left or center enough to go against Laura Loomer. So Ann Coulter, that would be interesting. Laura Loomer and Ann Coulter. I would definitely watch that. Put one in the chat if you would watch that.
She didn't want to run. She sucks at it. All she has is talking points. That's why I said, do a real primary. But of course, all the Democratic leadership yelled, no real primaries. We anoint.
He switched it. He did the of course with the no instead of saying it with the of course.
We anoint.
In the interest of fairness, this is where I also was, well, I'll explain my position, but I also said that I think the open primary process would spell chaos and disorder for the Democratic Party.
But democracy. Let's just install somebody because it will be easier. Yeah.
Especially so close to the actual election. And I thought because she was a blank slate, that there was an opportunity there to fill that blank slate with actually somewhat good policies. Even if she's not charismatic herself, she could have still, especially after she got locked in with Tim Walz, I was like, oh, this is great. She's going to be forced to like have to defend some of these positions. And
why would you think that? What does Tim Walz have to do with Kamala having to or not having to answer to? I don't get it.
Inevitably, maybe even move away from the tack to the right attitude that the Democrats usually have. Of course, I kept warning over and over again, if she does that, she's going to lose. And she did do that, and she lost.
But look, here's the thing.
But yes, an open primary, I think, would have put forth possibly. I mean, would have put forth a stronger candidate regardless.
Yeah.
But we also don't know like how chaotic that process would have looked like as well.
Who cares?
That's exactly right. Who cares? That's how it's supposed to be done. Who cares?
So let's just break it down.
And if you're trying to say that you would have gotten a stronger candidate anyway, bring on the chaos. It's not like this wasn't chaotic.
You agree that Biden should have withdrawn like a year and a half ago?
I agree that Biden should have
not run in 2020.
The better VP candidate that he knew was going to be the transitional.
Can we also like give the right wing a time?
Notice already how Hasan is weaseling his way out of just finding any common ground. He agrees with what Cenk just said, but he can't just say, yes, I agree. But also this.
The better agree that Biden should have withdrawn like a year and a half ago.
That's the question. Should Biden have withdrawn earlier than he did?
I agree that Biden should have picked a better VP candidate that he knew was going to be the transitional.
Can we also like give the right wing a tiny bit of credit here? I mean, they go too far when they say she's just a DEI hire. She was.
Do they though?
The Attorney General of California. She was a senator from California.
That just because you're a DEI hire doesn't mean that you are completely inept. That's not what that means. That means the reason that you were hired over all other reasons is something with identity politics or immutable characteristics or your oppressive class or whatever it is. That doesn't mean just because you're a DEI hire doesn't mean you're automatically bad. It just means you're not picked on the merit. So absolutely, she was a DEI hire.
She had the
bona fide because she was,
as was Biden,
as a black woman. Of course, she was picked because she was a black woman.
I mean,
yeah, that's what that means.
Biden said that was the real reason why she not only picked. I'll take it one step further. It's not even Kamala Harris that frustrates me about that. It's the fact that Biden said that about Ketanji Brown Jackson, who literally is more deserving of a Supreme Court appointment than most of the other Supreme Court justices, and he's still the bag up by.
How do you guys feel about that? Because I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of what Ketanji Brown Jackson, whatever her name was doing before. And to their credit, because of the fact that it was kind of pushed as this DEI hire from both sides, where not just the right, but the left was also saying, look, she's black and she's a woman. The point that he's making is that we can't give her that credit because we don't know that she was picked on her merit, because we know that she was a DEI hire.
By turning around and being like, oh yeah, I'm picking a black woman, Jack. And it was nutty because like, that's the first time we've had a public defender sit on the top court. Like, that was not a DEI hire in the way that conservatives mention it.
So do you know that I'm against affirmative action? I've always been against affirmative action. And
wait, really?
Yeah. And the reason
he's like, oh no,
not know that.
Yeah. The reason is because Ketanji Brown Jackson is an excellent Supreme Court justice who's perfectly qualified. So is Sonia Sotomayor. But the minute that any minority, by the way, including us, gets any position of power, respect, etc., what does everybody do? I just got it because they're black. They just got it because they're this.
No, and why is that, Cenk? Is that because we're all racist, or is that because you guys are like, look, it's because they're black?
And you think that's just a right wing thing, but it isn't.
No.
Everyone's heads.
No, I understand where you're coming from, but I respectfully disagree. I think that is like ultimately.
I couldn't pull it off the top of my head. I'm sure I've seen it. I'm sure I saw some of the hearings and stuff, but I don't remember specifically.
Caving and capitulating to right-wing framing on the issue. The affirmative action conversation has always been a band-aid solution to like significantly more consequential racial dynamics in this country that have never been addressed at all. And I've always looked at
comments today. What did she say today? Oh gosh. Ketanji suddenly gets worried about Supreme Court decision. Okay, I thought it was gonna be a. All right. What are they saying? Justice Jackson became worried that the arguments being made in a major Supreme Court case echoed those in another U.S. major case challenging Tennessee law that bans gender-affirming care for minors. The law is being challenged by 3 families. Jackson said there are lots of good reasons for this policy, and who are we as the court to say otherwise? I'm worried that we are undermining the foundations of some of our bedrock equal protection cases. About an hour and a half into oral arguments, Jackson said, I'm suddenly quite worried about the role of the court questions and constitutional allocation of authority concerns. What? Between nervous chuckle that her real concern was the same type of scientific arguments were made in Loving v. Virginia, the landmark civil rights case that struck down laws banning interracial marriage, and that her conservative colleagues' willingness to shy away from addressing the issues of gender-affirming care could weaken. My real concern, and maybe I'll just ask you to react to my Loving parallel, because I'm getting kind of nervous, is that in Loving, those same kinds of scientific arguments were made. For me, this is this kind of idea that the way we look at it is not first. Are you drawing these classifications and then state, give us your evidence so we can make sure there's a proper fit, she said. Instead, we're sort of doing what the state is encouraging in Loving, where you just sort of say, well, there are lots of good reasons for this policy, and who are we as a court to say otherwise? I'm worried we're undermining the foundations of some. I'm confused. What is she trying to I don't understand what she's trying to say, that with the we need gender affirming care because it's going to be the same thing as interracial marriage. Like what? Hey, shout out to Nick Luchetti starting us off with the swole stream. Of course, every donation comes with a treat for Morty. Thank you so very, very much. 14 more, and I'm on the floor. Thank you. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you, sir. So can just go toe-to-toe with Hasan. I'd love to see that. I'd definitely like to see that. But thank you. Let's dive back in. Thank you, sir.
Racial dynamics in this country that have never been addressed at all. And I've always looked at things from a class position regardless. And the real affirmative action is legacy admissions.
100%. Like, we even have a petition on tyt.com to end legacy petitions, because if you're against affirmative action, you have to be against affirmative action for super rich dudes whose dad went to Princeton or gave Princeton $1 million. Okay.
George W. Bush going to Yale.
Shout out to Nick. Thank you. And I agree with that. I don't think that it's necessary. Like, if these higher institutions are supposed to be, an application process and you got to do this, like, I get, like, that's the way the world works, but it doesn't mean we should necessarily just turn a blind eye to it. I definitely agree with that. Shout out to Dylan. Welcome to the party. We also got Dark Lumen in the building. Said Cenk is unhinged and calling Sam Cedar a grifter is pure nonsense. Okay. If that's what you think, you're allowed to have that opinion. And let's see, not. It's essentially, yes, that's what she was trying to do. Stupid. Well, again, I mean, the point is that even if she is not qualified, then she's not qualified. But what Hasan was saying is that even if, from our perspective, if she was competent, then we still have a way to brush that off and minimize her as a DEI hire, because she was a DEI hire. Zippy said, child castration and genital mutilation is a human right, is what she is saying.
Haram!
Nah. There is not a poll choice, so you've got to pick who is more in touch with the average voter, Cenk or Hasan. You gotta pick.
Whose dad went to Princeton or gave Princeton $1 million. Okay.
Yeah. George W. Bush going to Yale,
Yeah, that's bullshit. And by the way, you know who else was an affirmative action pick? Joe Biden. Because Obama picked him because he was an old white guy. He's like,
old
I don't
racist,
really care.
Old racist white guy who has like gas.
You know that,
and I mean, same with Tim Walz.
With absolute certainty, because in his final list, he had a big list in the beginning, but in the final list, it was only old white men because they knew they had to balance the ticket because he was a young African American. So let's not pretend that they didn't pick on demographic information. No, but Obama did, and so did Biden.
Yeah, but also it doesn't work in that direction regardless, because like obviously the underlying sentiment is that like affirmative action is not the reason why people think black people are undeserving of their position in society. They already thought that, and now they're using affirmative action to
wait. What the fuck did you just say?
Affirmative action is not the reason why people think black people are undeserving of their position in society. They already thought that, and now they're using affirmative action to, continue to compound on that argumentation.
Projection. Yikes. That's pretty racist, bro. So you just think that the average person thinks that, black people can't, like, what? That's wild that you just said that out loud.
And now they're using affirmative action to, continue to compound on that argumentation.
But it does compound, and I hate that it compounds.
And yeah, even aside, whatever he said, it still compounds the idea that if there's a black person in a particular position, then the questions about do they deserve to be there come from affirmative action DEI type of stuff. And what's nines that no, we didn't or haven't for 50 years. They always self-snitch. People tell you who they are, believe them.
Because it's not true.
I'm more like the process itself in terms of like affirmative action in general, albeit is
true, wild, but not surprising.
Is still, like I said, not a good solution to systemic racism and inequality that persists, and black people being consistently underserved in American society even now. Even when I recognize that, it's still not like, anything that moves the needle in an appropriate direction is fine. Like I don't have an issue with it, especially if it's like, for example, making colleges more diverse in general. That's a good thing. I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
Diverse by what means? Diversity of thought or diversity of color? Because I mean, sure, I would assume that the more diversity of color, if everybody thinks exactly the same way, then it might be a little bit different if everybody thinks the same way and is all the same color. But let's take a group of people that are ethnically diverse, but all think the same things. Then let's take a group of black people or white people or Asian people or whatever you want to choose. And they all have, there he is. We got our co-host, Morty. Thank you for joining us. And so we take a different group, and they're all the same race, but they have different ideologies and different ways of thinking. Where do you think is going to be a better place to learn, to be challenged, to be able to challenge other people? Obviously, the latter. Dark Lemon said DEI and affirmative action are a form of atonement. Atonement from who to who? For what reason? Diversity makes zero difference. Well, I disagree. I just think that diversity of skin color makes any difference. MC9 said, no one can tell me where the systemic racism exists. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Shout out to Cenk. Sorry, brother. I did not mean to call you Cenk. That was just the first word. Shout out to Carl. Welcome to the party. Said Cenk, Hasan, and a BoJack Horseman walk into a bar. Is there a punchline? Shout out to Will Arnett.
Making colleges more diverse in general, that's a good thing. I don't think that's a bad thing at all, because I do agree with college administrators when they say that America is a diverse country and that we want our student body population to be more representative of the country as a whole.
On what metric? On the way that they think differently or the way that they look differently?
Yeah. And I think that actually makes it a more, like, these are some of my most like rad lib takes, I would say. But
rad lib, like, I'm not being ironic. I just said rad lib. Seriously.
I do think that actually makes it a better learning environment in general when you're,
if it's by our metric, but by skin color, no, wrong.
You know, when you're a kid from the countryside that has never really encountered black people other than like, you know.
Yeah, because black people don't live in the country. They only live in cities. You can't find black
seeing
people.
Black people and black culture on television. When you actually go to college and you're in a dorm and, you know, your dorm mate is a black person, for the first time you're actually encountering and developing interpersonal relationships with people that you otherwise never would have. So, and I think that makes for a better learning environment.
I like this from Zippy. It's a DEI and affirmative action are systems of nepotism, neo-segregation. Dilly to that, sir. Indeed. Don't be jelly. Yeah, so radly, bro. Like, seriously, dude. Like, bro, like. And said, if talking about DEI as we are, we all know that what diversity we're talking about. It's self-implied. Oh, I know that, but it's just wild that like they don't see that this is such a narrow scope of that word diversity. Sad. Dylan said, every man, Hasan, apparently knows what people in the countryside or rural area think and believe. Of course, you know, he spends all the time with, you know, because his chat is so diverse.
Interpersonal relationships with people that you otherwise never would have. So, and I think that makes for a better learning environment.
So two things about that. Look, as you were talking, I came up with an analogy here. Let's see how it goes. I view affirmative action as kind of a counterproductive Band-Aid on a wound. So the right wing says the wound doesn't exist. No, I think the wound does exist.
Wait, what's the wound that we say don't exist?
Band-Aid on a wound. So the right wing of action is kind of a counterproductive Band-Aid on a wound. So the right wing says,
just racism.
The wound doesn't exist. No, I think the wound does exist. I just don't think that the Band-Aid is the right solution. Right. So
what was that, Mr. Editor?
No, I think the wound does exist. I just don't think that the Band-Aid is the right solution. Right.
I'm just going to skip over that because it sounded like something weird.
Because what the Band-Aid is doing is covering up the wound and not letting it breathe and not letting it heal.
You're a bit of an accelerationist.
Okay. So
in that regard.
Well, it's very different accelerations.
No, but
I'm not trying to accelerate racism. I'm trying to end racism.
That's what pure Marxist Leninists say about the welfare state.
Okay.
It's a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid continuation of like of.
Is it just me? Are you following what he's saying? I'm following Cenk. But what the fuck is happening?
Okay.
It's not a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid.
I'm not interested in that. Okay. I guess it's not
continuation of like
of yeah, but they're wrong. That's a completely different topic.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I got you. So, but in this case,
dude, look at the fucking sins, bro. Like, Jesus.
So constantly reaffirming and reaffirming, we should think about race. We should think about race. We should characterize everyone on race. That doesn't help defeat racism. It perpetuates racism. Bingo. So I think it's a terrible idea. I hate
W Jank. Where's my W Janks in the chat?
That we view ourselves separately based on different categories, race, gender, sexual orientation, etc. It doesn't mean that there aren't things that are going wrong now. It doesn't mean that there isn't systemic racism. It means that there's a better way to address it. And
that's what I was saying. I got what Cenk was saying. Jonathan said, what are you confused about? He said the welfare state is a Band-Aid for capitalism, according to Marxist. But they're talking about a wound, and they didn't define what the wound is. This is a byproduct of you being in an echo chamber. Not like these are you understand the context of the words that he's using because you listen to the words that he's using in the specific context. But when you just say things, if you don't articulate it in a way that that is understood by people who aren't in the weeds of using those words, then it's then you know nothing. Yep. Dylan said, I know what's happening. Hasan is trying to one up his uncle. Well, I got that much. A point for Cenk. Yep. Well, yes. Once I went back, I did see it. But that's what I'm saying. I'm with Cenk. It's Hasan that is confusing.
Things that are going wrong now. It doesn't mean that there isn't systemic racism. It means that there's a better way to address it. And then in terms of the diversity, look, I would do not affirmative action, but whatever is the appropriate way to put a thumb on a scale, but for acceptance into schools based on class, not on race. And it's not because of class dynamics, and I don't want the...
Because for you to assume that when what Hasan just said is like, well, what are you confused about? Because I don't talk about Marxists and Leninists on a regular basis. So when you're just throwing out random things like that as an a throwaway joke, I'm not going to understand what you mean. But it seems normal to you, doesn't it?
On class, not on race. And it's not because of class dynamics, and I don't want the rich to go to good schools, etc. No, I'm saying that if you came from a poor background, I don't give a goddamn if it's from the...
Okay, so I think a lot of people would agree with Carl here, saying that Cenk's done too much race hustling in the past few years for me to buy this as more than a grift. He supported the mostly peaceful riots because America is racist. What would he have to do or say that would give you the opinion that, okay, I mean, he seems to legitimately have changed? What would that be? Because so far, in my opinion, if he's trying to grift here, he either is a genius who knows the future and knows exactly that all the people who are, watching Hasan and watching Kyle Kalinske and watching whoever are eventually gonna wake up and figure out what get on his page. Then maybe. But there's a lot of people who are like, oh my God, Cenk's, he's gone right wing. So what's the grift?
No, I'm saying that if you came from a poor background, I don't give a goddamn if it's from the hollers of West Virginia or your black kid in the Bronx. If you rose up and got great scores and great grades in a situation like that, you are more likely to be successful. Mm-hmm. It's not just that it gives you diversity. What it gives you
Confucianism
is
pilled.
Okay, I'm what pilled?
Confucianism pilled.
Okay, whatever the fuck that means.
So I'm not even.
Yeah, no, okay. you wanna.
Yeah, bro. Like, dude, like you're so Confucius pilled, bro. Like, yeah, bro. Carl said he would have to take accountability fully. Neither. So when you say accountability, what exactly do you mean? Because if they weren't lying, people are allowed to be wrong, right? Like if you just have the wrong opinion, you're like, oh, I was wrong and now I'm learning the right thing. What accountability are we talking about? Shout out to Kevin Johnson. Welcome to the party. Good to see you. Good to see you. Having a good time. Kevin said that Confucius pill is just CCP pill because Hasan is a commie. Okay. And yes, everybody, day in Latin is deity or God. We could.
Confucianism pilled.
Okay, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, no, okay. you wanna. Yeah, this is once again, Jenkins Dengus rise up. You want a Chinese style
meritocracy,
pure meritocracy, pure meritocratic approach. Now the problem with that is that when you have underserved communities consistently.
Well, okay, so Carl's saying, he would have to take, that he thinks it's a grift, and he would have to take accountability. I asked what that was, and apologize for advocating unvaccinated people be denied medical care for one. So. This, I obviously agree that is a wrong position, but based on what they believed, if they didn't say this without believing it, why would they need to apologize for it? Because I don't know that they necessarily are, because it doesn't seem like there's a lie there, and people are allowed to change their minds. So I'm not sure what exactly you mean. Kingdom Anna said it's just a feeling, but he comes off as 50% grift, 50% genuine. I think that's just Cenk. That's just him. And I mean, I of course don't know what's in his head. It could be, but I like to reserve judgment until we have something a little more to go on. Shout out to Holly. Welcome to the party. Good to see ya. We also got Box in the building. Good to see ya. Nick says, I have to at least give him the benefit of the doubt and hope he's being sincere. I don't want to only see the glass as half empty. Agreed. I think if people are saying like when our opinions were so toxic that you could literally be banned and canceled for saying them. Just them being normalized by the people who were formerly willing to cancel them. That doesn't mean that I'm going to trust his opinion, that I'm going to start following Cenk. But in terms of his the level of sincerity that he has, I don't see why you would need an apology if you were always saying what you believe. There's a journalist and they were wrong. Plus, it violates the Nuremberg. But I mean, fair. But that's not that's an unreasonable standard because we're not asking that of anybody else. So, like, yes, I agree. This would be appropriate. But unless you're going to say that anybody who changes their mind, like, it just sounds like you're making perfect the enemy of good. I mean, take the wins where you can get them. Holly said he has the right to his beliefs. Personally, I think people grow, learn, and change all the time. Great to see you finally not working when you're live. Hey, there we go. There we go. Box said, I've not seen Jake's giving yet. I cannot stand Hasan. Who can? Who can over the age of 12? Shout out to Baby Mahara. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Said I watched the video of Destiny sucking a dick. I think it was Gavin McGinnis's. Well, that's a hot take. I've heard Nick Fuentes. I have not heard Gavin McGinnis. But who knows? Who knows? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. And shout out to Box with the gifted membership. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And of course, a treat for Morty. We re-upped. We got a whole stack here. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And let's add you to the co-sponsor of the stream. Thank you, thank you, thank you, sir. Let's dive right back in here.
See, pure meritocratic approach. Now, the problem with that,
actually, yeah, I pure meritocratic approach sounds good to me. Hey, we got Carl's Frosted Tips in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Said Cenk is a jerk off. Hi, Morty. Carl said hi. Say hi back.
Hey, I'm Morty.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got 3 sponsors, guys. Welcome, 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 and thank you so very, very much. Carl said, I don't need an apology, but he will need to apologize if he ever expects to be taken seriously again. He isn't even acknowledging he was wrong. He was wrong on something, but he's an expert now. Yeah, I think this is a very I don't think a lot of people think this way. You're absolutely free to, but you know, I think a lot more people are kind of in line with what Holly thinks. And I mean, there's certainly reason to be like, let's see closely. There's a reason to question whether or not it is a grift, but to just be like, yeah, this is a grift. I just don't. I don't know how you could possibly take or possibly have confidence in that when, you know, it's so recent. We haven't seen much of anything to say, oh no, that's genuine, or oh no, that's a grift. So I don't know. It was Turkey. I've heard that name. I don't know who that is, but yeah, I don't know. Morty is re-up. Yep. Oh, he's good to go. Send those in for the swole stream. Oh, so you take responsibility for being wrong. I respect that. Cenk doesn't. Okay. I mean, thank you. Fair. Yeah. We'll see. We'll definitely see. What's to come. But I'm more aligned with Holly, saying that, you know, people can grow and change. That doesn't mean that he has. That just means I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt until he gives me a reason to think that, nope. See, I thought it, but that was a grift. Shout out to Matthew King. Welcome to the party. I wasn't sure whether to do this or that. I haven't gotten a chance to listen to it yet, but it said made me angry. The amount of projection I heard was infuriating. Oh, well, then I guess we're gonna have to cover it and get a little drunk. Welcome to the party. I said I'm not really a fan of either, but in general, Hasan annoys me more. 40 is the man. Morty is the man. Morty is the man. I think there's probably more hope for Cenk though, if I'm honest. Agreed. Carl said, I also based that on the fact that TYT has always been a grift. How have they always been a grift if they've been essentially the same thing for the last like 20 years? Like, I stopped watching the Young Turks because I used to agree with them, and I grew and changed, and they didn't. And they're still saying the same stuff that I agreed with when I was like 20. So, well, to each their own. Shout out to Tip Top Man. Welcome to the party. Actually, I am an atheist. So, thank you for, I'm so glad. Blasphemy.
What is blaspheming the Holy Spirit and why is it unforgivable?
Blasphemy against the Holy Spirit means I have played so many games with God that I've reached the point where my heart is so hard. I never hear the voice of God. I am not sorry for the wrong that I've done. Therefore, the only people who blaspheme the Holy Spirit are those who could give a rip. They're totally unconcerned because they're totally dead towards God in their spirit. Pharaoh 6 times hardens his heart. Then we read the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart. Well, you take the first 6 times out and you're thinking, what?
So now a name.
Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart? What does that mean?
Blasphemy. And unless you're going to get mad at every child named Jesus in Mexico, then you can blow it at your asshole. Box, and I've been in TYT's live chat every day for the last 2 years straight. Every day. I watch the live show every day. All right. So what's your opinion? Do you think they've been a grift from the beginning? Do you think they've changed over time? Do you think I'm genuinely accurate that they've pretty much been consistent? What do you have to say about that? Let's dive back in.
Is that when you have underserved communities consistently, you got to put your thumb on the scale in a certain place because we don't have true equality of opportunity in this country. And obviously, people like yourself and myself, that's what we're advocating for. Republicans will turn around and bastardize that critique it by saying, you want equality of outcome. We don't want equality of outcome.
No,
we want true equality of opportunity. And
do you though?
When there's no true equality of opportunity, when Black communities are consistently underserved, when you look at the Chicago public school system that is 90% of the state of Illinois, like Black and brown student body population being consistently underserved, you are getting to a point where people are not being propped up. People are not being propped up to succeed in this process. So I think like you're right. Analyzing it from a class position is good because even though there's a racial dynamic and the racial disparity that exists in the American normal order of business, the violence or the inequalities, the structural inequalities are still dished out on a class-based perspective.
Yeah, I mean, the hollers in Kentucky don't have great public schools either.
Right, which is exactly Cenk's point, that it's, I mean, that it's not race, it's about class. I guess there's a different representation of races within certain classes, but the class is the issue. Carl's Frosted Tips said, Cenk's so Democrat that when the TYT staff want to unionize, he fired the guy making the push. That's the Democrats for you. They didn't have double standards. They'd have no
a class-based perspective.
Yeah, I mean, the hollers in Kentucky don't have great public schools either. So they also had to overcome a lot, right? So like saying that a Black guy at Exeter should get an advantage, but a white kid in the middle of Missouri who's going to public school too should not get an advantage. That makes no sense at all.
I don't think that that's what people are advocating for, though. I mean, I don't know.
They're
I'm not
literally advocating for that.
100%. I'm not advocating for that. I don't know
so
what you mean. I don't think people who are I don't think that like Black activist groups are saying like, no, the poor white people. Like, I don't.
No, but they're saying.
What do you mean? That's their entire platform. That's their entire platform.
I don't think that like Black activist groups are saying like, no, the poor white people. Like, I don't.
Yeah, dude. They are. That is literally the entire basis of DEI and all of that shit. What are you talking about? Zippy said equality of opportunity is nepotism propped up to succeed equals quotas to bypass merit. Yep. Good point. I never really thought about that before. Thought of it that way before, but you got it. Shout out to Black Salami TV. Welcome to the party. What are you talking about here? I was like, deport these assholes. And said, Cenk liked RFK, but I guess you guys are talking about yourselves. M1C9 said, pro tip, stop telling black kids they can't. That speaking proper English is acting white. Demand more, you'll get more. Bingo. Yup. Holly said, I think tip top. Yeah, screw him. Who cares? Box said, we had fun from 07 till about 12. I never agreed on guns, and I took off for a few years. Then audience capture happened. They are the same. They are shaking off the capture. Money out of politics. Yeah, I don't agree with their positions, but I do think that they are more or less what they that's dope, Carl. They are more or less what they present themselves to be, as far as I can see. Matthew said, it's almost like the money thing is not a race thing, and these rich pricks don't have a clue how the other 90% live. Yeah, he was talking about in the urban or the rural areas. Like, what are you talking about? You don't know nothing about nothing.
These groups are saying like, no, the poor white people. Like, I don't.
No, but they're saying give an advantage based on race, not class, and I'm saying I 100% disagree with that.
Okay, well. Again, Band-Aid solution,
okay,
regardless.
So back to Biden and Harris. So we both agree Biden should have gotten the race. They're crazy.
Can I just say one other thing, actually? Historically, the wrong that has been committed is on the basis of race. So I think the solution to that problem, albeit, should feature a class dynamic, absolutely will have some racialized component attached to it. Because you can't right a historic wrong by simply being like, yeah, we're just going to.
So look,
you can't right a historic wrong, period. That's how time works. Shout out to the low DP videos. Welcome. Said POC have been at the suffrage state for so long that has lagged their progression, which is why they deserve a boost. I don't know about you, but I know plenty of black people who did not have any great situation. And surprise, surprise, they're just as capable of doing things for themselves as white people. I know you don't think this, and I know that you think you are better than black people, but they're actually just as good as you. Bog said, time, bro. Have you heard of it? Yeah, right. It's insane.
Attached to it, because you can't right a historic wrong by simply being like, yeah, we're just going to.
So look, this is really important. So let's talk about balance, because in the beginning, when let's take longshoremen or firefighters, they're all white let's say in the South, right, where you've got massive Jim Crow laws. If you deny that and you think, oh no, black people got perfect opportunity in 1940s and 20s and 60s in the South, you're just in a different planet. So there's no point.
Exactly, King. It's just not a component on the right. Is all about race? Am I off on this? Are you saying that that's not as much of a component for us, and that the left is all about race? Then yes. I said, that's it exactly. We can only learn from our mistakes in history and learn from them while striving to be better human beings in general. Indeed. So we said, why are we righting the wrongs of the 1900s segregationism with neo-segregationism? Because they told them that it was good. So they're like, oh, that's the good thing. That's the good thing. Black Salami said, who gave them their rights and made them equal? White Americans.
When talking to you, right? So they're at a massive disadvantage, to say the least. They can't get in. And the longshoremen, I get it. Their instinct is, I want to give my job to my son. It's a good job. It pays well, etc. Right? So I want to pass it on to my son. Now, at some point, you have to use affirmative action in the beginning to break through that. Because if you allow that to happen, black people are never going to be able to break through, right? So you've got it in the beginning.
That's racist. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. One was president. Insane. Shout out to Carl Frosted Tips with another 199. Thank you. Said everything has to be about race and the past. Yep, they are obsessed. Thank you, sir. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Very, very, very much appreciated. Zippy said neo-segregationism, i.e. modern diversity, is a huge money laundering scheme, as we saw with Am I Racist? I'm gonna call you low DP. Low DP. I don't think I'm better than black people. In fact, if my fellow white people could see what we have done, we wouldn't be so quick to piss on their feet. Read a history book. Oh no. Yeah. By you saying that that black people specifically need help, that means that you don't think that black people can do the same things that you can do. And that's racist. Yeah, Kanye, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, they are all doing a lot better than me. Carl said if the answer to past racism is future racism, then the answer to past segregation would be future segregation. It makes sense ideology. It's Kendi. Yeah, Ibram X. Kendi. The only, what is it? The only justification or the only way to address past past segregation is present and future discrimination. And said, no, fuck that. We've had CRA since the 70s. Affirmative action, welfare, etc. Repentance is not necessary. Agreed. One was president. Racism ended. Yay! Yeah. There hasn't even been 50 people. Box. So they've moved on from race hustling for the most part. There was a time where every TYT video said white X did Y to black Z. Cenk and Anna don't make the clips or the titles. Well, I definitely believe that, you know, there's Anna, and then there's Cenk, and then there's the rest of TYT. So that's why, in terms of the company, I have absolutely no respect for them. But the individuals of Cenk and Anna seem to be normal-ish people. Black Swami said everyone of the same color should be as successful as Kanye. Apparently, right? Yeah, shout out to Trump. Another amazing thing from the best president of our lifetime. And said the U.S. majority is white. What do you expect? White people. My fellow white people. Do we have a white dude for Harris in the audience? I think so. 70 employees, and they have a union despite Cenk's best efforts. That's actually a lot bigger than I expected. Matthew said all we need to do was get rid of the laws that kept the blacks out of the workforce. We don't need laws saying you must hire them anymore. Exactly. I said I feel like people in general are finally waking up and getting that we're all the same and we can't be manipulated into hating each other for no reason anymore. I mean, they definitely on certain things they're really good at finding ways to get us to fight with each other. And I don't suspect that that's going to stop anytime soon. But you know, what we've been saying about the mainstream media and how now you are the media, then we have a lot easier time seeing that we are all pretty similar and we all do want essentially the same things, even if we think that we can get there by different means.
Because if you allow that to happen, black people are never going to be able to break through, right? So you've got to in the beginning say, look, we're taking action based on race because the discrimination was based on race. But if you do that forever, then you never break the racial paradigm, right? We're always thinking about race and we're always separating based on race. So it can't be forever. It can't be never.
Oh, so white people did though? So what? Just by being white, you grew up with a silver spoon? That's not how that works. That's racism. Yeah, the stranglehold is weakening. It is weakening, but that is a big ship. It is turning, and there's nothing to say that it can't turn back. Nothing.
So then the question becomes, when do you end affirmative action? And we started in the 1960s. Here we are in 2024. If it hasn't worked by now, I got news for you. It ain't never going to work.
Yeah,
so
but
it's
that's
a wrong
also
solution to a real problem.
But that's also because it hasn't even. No, Cenk is not saying racism is over. Pack it up, guys. No, he's not saying that.
I literally said that's not the case. The wound still exists. The wound is real.
Yeah.
And I literally said systemic racism is real.
Maybe you might not like this, but
it's worse now because of people like you who've been obsessing over it. Did I say hey to you? What's up? It's Funhouse in the building. But yeah, racists are the only ones who talk about race all the time because they're obsessed with race. Sacco said, if you have 2 runners with the same talent and one gets a lead pipe to the knee for every lap for half the laps, then suddenly you remove the pipe. That runner isn't going to immediately catch up. Okay, but then if you let them heal and then they race again and nobody gets hit, then whoever's faster is going to win. Are you saying that black people are so terrible that despite the Chinese, the Japanese, the Italians, the Irish, that they all came here after black people and are doing better because black people are inherently worse? And Musky9 said, tell that to my poor white parents who grew up during the Great Depression. No, they were not poor, okay? They were white. That means they were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Are you paying attention, M69? Buck said I did my 23andMe and found out I was astonishingly white. It's not my fault. I go out and glow in the dark. Hey, it's absolutely not.
Is real.
Yeah.
And I literally said system.
Yeah, good. And yeah, Aaron said, who should be guilty? First gen, second gen, 50-50, foreign, native? Because white people is like saying war on terror. The face can be whatever you want it to be. Hard pass. I love that. I love that. And this is the purposeful semantic obfuscation that then now leads to the linguistic creep. White people is now just a catch-all for not for oppressor. In the same way that war on terror is a prerequisite for we need to blow people up because reasons.
I think is real.
Maybe you might not like this, but I do think that reparations is part of the solution to this, albeit it's politically impossible to get through in a country that is so resilient in their interpretation of whites, how much they've internalized white supremacy.
But again, reparations is a super interesting, nuanced conversation. So
shout out to Zippy DSM Lee over on Rumble with the Rumble Rant. Said urban areas have no jobs, and we got a treat for Morty. Urban areas have no jobs and no hope because of how government has wasted money caging black people and building prison cities. It's not a race issue; it's a failed city issue. Well said, sir. Well said. Thank you, sir. Kingdom Anna says some are born with a spoonful of propaganda in their mouth. Well said. Buck said race is one of the wedges the rich use to divide us. Yep. Welcome, Mood. Good to see you. Good to see you. Lodi said, you accuse me of being racist when I'm standing up for poor people. They're just as smart as white people. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. Okay. This is a first. This is a first. A projection on claims of projection. Double projection. Ooh. But here's the thing. You're racist because they can for themselves. They can for themselves. That is the point. You are the racist.
On the one hand, and I'll give credit to Marianne Williamson here. I thought she phrased it best back in 2020 when she said a debt is owed. And that is actually very literally true. Yeah. So we use the country at large and the country I love. And yes, we came to it much, much later, but that country took advantage of all of that free labor to build what we love and what we now take advantage of and what we came here for, right? So hundreds of years of free labor, no matter what your race is or what your condition is unacceptable. They never got paid for that. It's a massive robbery from African Americans in this country. So I not only acknowledge that, but I'm enraged by it. But now what are we going to do? If you propose a reparations that's so extreme as San Francisco did, where they're like, oh, any black person can buy a house in San Francisco for $1. What?
Okay. What do you? I don't even know what you're talking. Hold on.
How did you not hear about this? Put a 1 in the chat if you did not hear about the San Francisco $1 homes for black people.
San Francisco did, where they're like, oh, any black person can buy a house in.
Yeah, you can't call me racist, right? Because you have power over me, so you're the racist, and you have to listen to whatever I say. Are you white-splaining to me? How dare you? Okay, I am the oppressed person here. You have no idea what it's like to live as a brown man, and you want to come onto my page and tell me about racism. How dare you? How dare you? You take your spot at the bottom of the oppression totem pole where you belong. Gotta teach it. You gotta talk to them, in the way that they understand. No, really? Oh my God. This is $1. $1, guys. $1.
Operations that's so extreme as San Francisco did, where they're like, oh, any black person can buy a house in San Francisco for $1. What the?
What?
Okay.
What do you? I don't even know what you're talking. Hold on. What are you talking about?
Had this insane thing.
Welcome to the party.
Where they're like, okay, now every white and non-black, including Latinos, including Middle Eastern, Asians, etc., have to give money to black people in this city or in this town where they passed it.
Wait, hold on. Let's listen.
So, Lodi, you want to explain to me how that's not racist? I would love to hear it.
Just take a look at it first. Let's analyze it a little bit, because this seems a little kooky.
You're going to see how insane it is.
This seems a little bit kooky. So proposals include financing debt forgiveness, guarantee.
Okay, so I remember this part. You tell me if it helps you understand what Hasan is saying when he's reading and he talks faster because of the fact that he's reading, because the words are on the screen, or if it's harder to understand him because you're just talking faster and you're not reading along with him.
Annual incomes for families and homes in the city for $1. San Francisco backs reparation plans, including $5 million to eligible black adults. More than 100 recommendations included payments of $5 million to every.
So this, I only assume that this has to be a way to like just skim through it to make sure that we're not actually reading what is there. So San Francisco backs reparation plans, including $5 million to eligible black adults. Proposals include financing debt forgiveness, guaranteed annual incomes for family, and homes in the city for $1. San
Francisco backs reparation plans, including $5 million to eligible black adults.
San Francisco lawmakers heard a range of options on Tuesday to provide reparations to black people for decades of racist treatment by the city government. More than 100 recommendations included payments of $5 million to every eligible black adult, the elimination of personal debt and tax burdens, guaranteed annual incomes of at least $97,000 for 250 years, and homes in San Francisco for just $1 a family. No, I'm mad in general when people read things and then they talk faster as if by the fact that you have the words on the screen. It's not a Hasan thing or a left-right thing. It's just a streamer thing. It pisses me off because just because if you're watching this doesn't make it easier for you to understand just because he's looking at it. It's on the screen. Notice how when I bring up articles, I expand it so that you can follow along with me. That was just a side thing. It wasn't about Hasan. Hey, shout out to Box. Thank you for the $5. Said, I like that you just know to fact check Hasan outright. Well, to be fair, I did see the actual Justice Warrior. He covered a part of this. He covered more of the crime part of this. And we got a treat for Morty there. Thank you. And he got a bunch of other stuff right. So while I know that there's stuff that Hasan read that doesn't go with what he said, and then the editors put stuff in that that doesn't go with it as well. That's why. So shout out to actual Justice Warrior. Where are we at here? Colin said I would donate if Cenk did 10 push-ups and tried to push Cenk to go for it, but he wouldn't. See, he should have been on the swole stream. That's the way to do it. Hey, Box again with the gifted membership. Thank you so very, very much. I gotta update this banner. I'm sorry, guys. I will update it. Thank you. And Ed gets the membership. Ed, make sure if you're not already in the Discord, join it and let me know. We also got equality and deference because of vagina on Rumble. Said, who is Hasan? This Hasan dude. Anyway, he is the nephew of Cenk Uygur and the biggest Twitch streamer on the left. And should identify as a super fucking black. Give me mucho money. Yeah, well, I mean, regular blacks are getting $5 million a year, 97,000 for 250 years, debt and tax burdens relieved, and a home for $1. That's, I don't know. Yep. This shout out to Unwanted Foe. This channel is trying to bring back common sense after all. The second coming of common sense. Good to see you, brother. We got that from Box. Thank you very much, sir. And said, so since slavery ended, I want the quantity of true descendants from proven slaves per generation. Then I want that compared to CRA, welfare, AA, etc., with longevity to see how it balances out. I would guarantee that the all the welfare stuff is more. There's just so many people. Also, when dealing with any government program, they assume the government employees and consultants will use 75% of the budget. They're gonna steal money. Yep. All right, let's grab a couple more of these and dive back in here. Even if M169 says, even if they do all that, if people receiving it don't know how to handle the money, they'll be in debt again. That's why so many lottery winners end up worse off than they started. Quality said people who were never slaves should get money from people who never owned slaves. Makes perfect sense. Does it though? No, it doesn't. Boxing man, AJ, hey, $60. He's so cute. You give me the money. You give me the money. There, I meant to give you the laugh. There you go. All right, let's dive back in here.
Guaranteed annual incomes for families and homes in the city for $1. San Francisco backs reparation plans, including personal debt and tax burdens. Guaranteed annual incomes of at least $97,000 for 250 years. And homes in San Francisco for just $1 a family. San Francisco lawmakers heard
no, I'm aggressive to you.
That's real. That's the Guardian.
They heard I know. They heard a range of options. Sometimes people have ideas. They present those ideas in a situation like this, in like a public town hall setting, and regardless of
enthusiastic.
Financial audit is great, and the way TikTok clippers cut it up, and I love financial audit. If you guys are not on that, shout out to Caleb Hammer.
Report by their council.
Okay, so but here's the thing: this is some of the 100 different recommendations that came through, and it doesn't seem like they followed through on this or any number of these different reparations plans. It's like people have a multitude.
Enthusiastically received.
I think saying that is very different than following through on it as a part of your legislative agenda.
So my point was there are extreme proposals on reparations that make no sense. Okay. And you're agreeing it makes no sense.
Okay.
Right. That's a ludicrous position.
Yeah,
right?
but
so
this is
hold on. Is there a way to do reparations in a way that does make sense? And I think the answer is yes. I don't think it's giving black people a house for $1. I don't think it's giving them money, etc. But the new school has proposed some interesting ideas, including, hey, what if we provided tax breaks that would be material in buying housing for African Americans? So, well, okay, that's interesting because now, or you created a fund that allows them to turn it into an education fund for their children, right?
This person also has a good point. We should have a ceasefire in Gaza has also been enthusiastically received by the Biden admin. Didn't mean they did the damn thing because politicians
but we're not arguing, guys. If you think it's absurd, great, fantastic. We all agree it's absurd.
I don't think that there are.
He's not a very good listener.
I'm sure that there are some people who think this is a fantastic idea and they could get into an academic conversation.
Wait, whoa. You're saying Caleb's kind of mean and you're Dave Ramsey guy? I thought Dave Ramsey was like you need to do this. I actually don't know that closely, but I do follow a guy who covers Dave Ramsey all the time. And maybe clips out of context like that. But I don't know. I think he gets, Caleb, he goes hard, but like the people need it. And, they that's what they signed up for. So I'm here for
I'm sure that there are some people who think this is a fantastic idea and they could get into an academic conversation about it. It's just more so a matter of like the framing of this to make it seem as though like the
I'm setting the outer extremes, Haas.
Yeah, but like
so
you do think so how would white people prevent development in the job market? Explain that to me.
Say reparations, a lot of people are going to say hell no. A lot of people are going to say hell yes. But my point is, but what are we saying yes or no to? So if you take the most extreme example, I say no, and everybody says no. But it's not I'm agreeing with you. That's not the only proposal. I'm just telling you, New School has proposals that are really interesting about, hey, what if it was directed towards education or housing? We promised 40 acres and a mule, and we lied. We never gave them the 40 acres and a mule.
Yeah, only reparations were given to slave owners, as a matter of fact, for lost revenue off of the freed African men and women.
Yeah.
And I think that's perfectly fine. Like, yes, it is good that slavery was ended, but the slave owners were operating under the laws of the business, and then they changed they changed the laws in such a drastic way that, like, yeah, if we had given reparations to black people at that time, I would have been like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But 200 years later, it's almost like the Democrats have no intention of ever giving any reparations, because they could have if they wanted to. The box said, Whoopi's family got 40 and a mule. Fact check me. I believe you. I believe that. She's like, I'm poor. I wouldn't be here on The View if I didn't need to be. I mean, defined need. Your need for attention. But thank you, sir. Okay, let me do this banner. I did not. Let me count. Sorry, you guys are so blessing me, and I'm getting lost behind. So who do we got? We got Carl with the 2, 4. We got Box with 7 and 2 gifted memberships. That makes a new sponsor of the stream. Thank you very, very much, sir.
Of the freed African men and women.
Yeah. So you see what I'm saying? That you could do it in a way that where middle America goes, oh, I get it. That sucks. That was an injustice. And we're trying a small thing here to make up for the injustice, so that it at a minimum, symbolically, to say, thank you, brothers and sisters, for putting up with this shit. Like, I know you didn't do it voluntarily, but you helped build this country, and we appreciate you. So get on a page where
But they didn't. But they didn't. Their ancestors absolutely did. But they didn't. Yeah, Colleen Devon said, silly Jesus, blacks and whites are perfectly equal, but also white people can perpetually keep the Negroes down. What? I don't know. That's what they say. That's what they say. But no. White people aren't, better or higher than white people. They're all the same. Am I racist? No, I think you're the racist. Black Salami said the people in charge, the white man gave the slaves more rights than their own people ever even would. They still have slavery all over Africa. Yup. Indeed.
We understand each other and appreciate each other, instead of framing it as, I'm taking from you. You owe me and I'm taking from you, right? So that perpetuates a wrong side.
Guys, we're 1/3 of the way there. We are 5 out of 15 on the swole stream.
Whereas but in order to do that, Haas, last thing on it is, you've got to have like truth and reconciliation, just like South Africa did. Here's all that we did.
South Africa's, South Africa's Reconstruction period also was not a great,
but making perfect the enemy of the good. And again, here's the thing, that if it was, it's one of those things where, like, imagine you get in an argument with your significant other, right? And you believe that they're in the wrong, and they kind of know they're in the wrong, but it's heated, so they're getting defensive and whatever. And I meant to say that one before. Equality. What was it? Oh yeah. So you're in an argument, and you are in the right. You are in the right. Thank you, Guam Tech, contributing to the swell, and to Morty. Thank you so very much. So yeah, if you're in an argument and you're in the right, the other person is in the wrong, but they're getting defensive, and the argument's over, and you won the argument. If you were then to go to your significant, well, are you going to apologize? Apologize to me. Apologize. You were wrong. Apologize to me. Wrong. You were wrong. You need to apologize. Are you going to get that apology? Or maybe you just chill. And then people will be like, you know what? I was wrong. But if you don't give people that chance, then it's never going to happen. And that's with an individual. You want to talk about, yeah, exactly. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And I think, you know, the same goes for much larger groups, and especially over time. A unwanted beau said, paying homage to Morty, the Overlord. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So very, very much. Almost halfway there. Almost halfway there. Thank you so very, very much.
Reconciliation was excellent. So that portion of it was great because they said, here's all the terrible things we did. Guys, it doesn't mean that white people today are racist. It doesn't mean white people today are awful. It doesn't mean all white people are the same. It doesn't mean any of that. What it means is in the past, there were terrible things that were done. And here's
another. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very, very much. Now we're past halfway. We're past halfway. So going back to my example, context, it depends. Is it a woman apologizing? You might as well never expect it. I'm sorry, and move on. Oof, I'll keep it short. But yeah, exactly. Imagine it is a woman, and you're the guy, and you're the woman. Imagine how that would work out. Versus, you know, you have her, she flips out and she does whatever, and da 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 da. Give her some space. And she does love you. She does understand things, but she's an emotional person. She got and she comes to you and she's like, you know what? I was wrong about that. That's the way that stuff's gonna work out. Oh, Box again with a gifted membership. Shout out to Texas. Born wrong. I think you're already in the Discord, but either way, make sure everybody joins that Discord. And thank you again from Morty. You guys are amazing. Amazing.
Just us trying to make up for it in some small way that the country agrees to and we're all on board for. And sincere apology and a sincere thank you. And now, from now on, let's move forward. Let's move forward and cut all the talk of like race this and race that and gender.
No pause.
This and gender that from both sides, by the way. The right wing starts more identity politics than the left wing does.
Listen. When it comes down to it, no matter if you are first generation with a dad who is a doctor, you're still going to struggle when it comes to concept that most of your audience doesn't know.
What? So now the right-wing guys will their heads will explode. What do you mean? You guys try to find wedge issues on every fucking thing, and then you go more and more extreme. And I think you guys, Haas, fall into that trap way too often. We'll get to that later.
Wait, let's get to it now.
Okay.
What do you mean by that?
So you know what we're going to talk about, the trans issues. So on trans issues, as an example, over 60% of Americans agree. Of course they should.
You're what? I'm giving myself an aneurysm with this devil's advocate bullshit. What are you talking about? Is that okay? That makes sense. That makes sense. You got me. You got me. Slow clap for Dietrichs. Well done. Well done. Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean, we all kind of were like, but I was like, nope, this is a Hasan person. Well done. Well done. That was. I'm gonna give you a non-diluted. Well done. Well done. Yeah, you are amazing. Shout out to Wolf. We got Wolf said, I'm a Democrat. Are you a real Democrat or are you somebody playing somebody else? I've been tricked once today. Welcome. You'll have to take that up with the Lodi P videos. Yes, you that I mean, again, applause. All right. Wolf said, other than culture war, why do you support Trump? Mainly because I believe that he is a buck against the system. So I don't believe in the establishment. I think the institutions have been taken over by corrupt politicians who are working together behind the scenes, the uniparty, all of that stuff. And I don't think that Trump is some, amazing savior, but I think that he is different enough and has the strong enough personality to be different and also get his ideas through. And so I think that his ego and his unfettered belief in himself actually works to his benefit when he's putting that towards trying to fix America. And so even if he's a little out there, then the ways that he's out there ends up helping me and my other countrymen. So that is why I support Donnie J. Trump. Welcome to the party. Yeah, we got a few here. We try to keep it not an echo chamber. Box said, "Independence, rise up." I think that's just you. I'm definitely not a capital I independent. I like, just more the idea of politically homeless or classically liberal is kind of, but yeah. No. If you think that, then take a look in the mirror. None of us knew. So think about that. Thank you, Holly. More than two parties? What? Let's talk about Willis. Wolf said Trump is a sociopath and a narcissist who only cares about himself. He uses the culture war and identity politics to distract you from the real issues while he is fixing America. So I'm okay with that.
Have the same constitutional rights, same rights to housing, employment, rules against discrimination.
Cope harder, dude. Cope harder.
Does 1/3 of the country disagree? Yeah. Sad day for them. 2/3 of the country agrees trans people should be protected. I'm 100% on board for that. Right?
Yeah. Now, are you familiar with Dr. Fauci? Have you heard of the Department of Justice? Have you heard of the Department of Defense? Have you heard of, the entire U.S. government establishment? Yeah, now, but for the last 50 years, there clearly has been a U party.
Right? And if you're a right winger and you go, no, man, they're weird, they're different, they're blah, 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 and I'm going to hate them.
Oh, yeah, I forgot when I said different is always better.
Well, good luck to you, brother.
It's almost like I didn't say that.
I'm not going to hate them, and I'm going to protect them, okay? But so that didn't work for them. So they went digging. So then they go, okay, we should ban trans people from the military.
Did you read the New York Times article I told you to read on this the last time we had this conversation?
I'm not sure I did.
About how, okay, so...
That means no.
They went digging.
Yeah, so what you're describing is what I was explaining to you, that the Christian groups, the right-wing Christian nationalist groups, in the aftermath of the failed initiative to do a trans bathroom bill in North Carolina at a time when Donald Trump was pro-trans, openly stating he was pro-trans, openly criticizing the North Carolina legislation, saying, leave it as it is, nobody cares. Caitlyn Jenner can piss in whichever bathroom she wants to piss in as long as she's pissing in Trump Tower. When all this stuff was happening, there was definitely a different attitude overall. I think part of that was because, just like you also recognize, most Americans, they just think trans people are being discriminated against and unjustly. And
do they?
The other reason was because it just seemed like cruel and unusual for no particular reason. So what these Christian family groups did was go back to the drawing board and, hire the likes of, maybe Frank Luntz didn't personally involve himself in this one, but people like Frank Luntz that would go and focus group and test different messages.
Yep.
And they arrived at two key points that were resilient. Americans don't necessarily care about trans issues all that much, but they do care about meritocracy. And what is the one place where there's true meritocracy in the eyes of many Americans? Now, there's, still not perfect meritocracy, but sports. Sports is the one area.
I'm actually surprised how articulate he is on this particular this particular thought. I want to vote. And Caitlyn Jenner wasn't trying to compete in women's sports or spy on girls in the bathroom.
Bingo.
Yup.
Where if you dominate.
How do you not know, bro? How do you not know? Oh my God. It's it was so obvious, dude. How do you not know? You must just be gullible or stupid or something.
Good. You're going to dominate. If you're dominant, then you're going to get elevated. Right. So they packaged
And I think, if I remember correctly, Cenk does a good job of highlighting that, women are way more affected by the trans stuff than trans is.
Anti-trans sentiment with sports and specifically children's sports, right? And that is where we arrive at what 60% of the country, or even larger percentages than that, don't think trans women should be participating in sports with cis women, specifically trans girls, competing in athletic endeavors with cis girls.
Yeah. So that's exactly my point, Haas. And
No,
when they laid that trap, first of all, the right wing should acknowledge that was identity politics being played by the right wing. The right wing did the polls, they did the studies, they were looking for something that the American people would hate about the left, about trans people, about LGBTQ people. When you go looking and searching and digging,
yeah, stupidity really, really just, it just touches a nerve with me.
Or on identity, don't tell me.
All right. We were doing good, but we don't go at each other in the chat. That was good, but you got your hit. Let's not go at each other.
You're not doing identity politics.
No, this is identity politics, and the right does it all the time. Now, listen, here's
oh yeah. The majority of people don't want trans women in sports. I think you're saying like, wait, no, yeah. But yeah, sounds like democracy to me. Because wait. When they say our democracy, they didn't actually mean democracy. They meant our democracy, like the way that we like to do things.
Here's the thing. Okay, you understand this to be a distraction. Like you recognize
under Republicans, you have low quality of life, except for Trump, because it's almost like Trump is not really a Republican. I hate the Republicans. I was never Trumper. I was a Bernie bro. So I did some learning, some book learning, and actually some people learning. Might want to try it. Quality TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. You haven't heard that one before? TDS.
Recognize that it's a distraction, which is why I don't think either of us are saying that this should be the pivotal. This should play a pivotal role in the top of the line messaging of the Democratic Party, which is that like, no, trans women have to compete with cis women. I don't think anyone is making that argument at all.
No,
but I think we should, it would serve us both well to openly recognize, and I think you do as well, that this hyper focusing on, trans athletes at the high school level all the way to the collegiate level is a distraction that most Americans might have an opinion on, but don't necessarily care about. It's not a major driver of turnout. It's not something that people go out and vote for.
I don't agree.
No. Okay. Well, we can have
get them, Cenk. Answered, of course I do, but I care more about young children not being forced to accept abuse. Abuse is a make or break. We need children to keep the world going. So it is the most important to me. Love it.
That argument in a second. I will explain it to you why I don't think it's a real issue.
Every state is a red state.
Part of the reason why is that it's just simply not a real issue because do you know the number of trans athletes nationally?
So I know that
under the collegiate level?
No, it's microscopic.
It's
That's
40.
why.
The number is 40.
Yeah. And so like 20 states,
which is, I'm not even
20 red states passed the law.
Like I said in Discord, guys, I'm not, you guys deal with it.
Against transgender girls participating in high school sports, and they couldn't name one transgender girl in their state that participated in high school sports.
Yes.
So that's exactly my point. We start with agreement.
Even Spencer.
Yeah. No, there was no influx to Houston and Austin. That didn't happen. What are you talking about, Guamtech? I would love to be able to just live in a world where I think that if I say something that it's automatically true. I would love to have that. I am jealous that you're able to think this way.
Cox vetoed the bill in Utah originally, and he actually wrote like a pretty compelling argument as to why he was vetoing it. And governors like Andy Bashar have actually won by higher margins after openly defending trans people in the past in a state like Kentucky, for example. So
shout out to Behave. Welcome to the party. Indeed, both are nuts. But which one is closer to the American people?
So look, we start with a point of agreement, which is that the right wing uses a wedge issue to drive a wedge between us. Mm-hmm. They go looking for it, and they do it based on identity politics.
Okay.
So we totally agree on that. We totally agree that it's a microscopic issue that affects almost no one in the country. Okay. So when we don't have paid family leave, we don't have health care for everyone. This is bullshit.
I don't even think that's true.
I don't even disagree.
It does
on how to
people.
react to it.
It does actually impact a lot of cis women. There's more cis women than there are trans women, and there are a lot of.
Oh wow, it's actually him bringing it up. So how is it that you understand? How is it that you understand what you're about to say and still hold the position that you have? Shout out to Ayush Gupta. Welcome to the party. It said by the skin of his teeth. By the skin of his teeth. Yep. Ant said, look, when I'm speaking of trans people, I am talking about the community, not the genuine dysphoric ones. Let's be clear. I don't want them hurt and feel discomfort in their lives. But, sorry, I didn't see the ... We'll come back to that. Let's see if we got it. We'll come back to it.
There are a lot of young girls that this could technically impact because now you have bills like the one in Ohio, the penis inspection bills.
Oh my God. This is the dumbest take. This is the dumbest take in the entire argument. Well, then they're going to have to check little girls and boys' genitals. They already do. You need a physical to play any sport in any state. What are you talking about? At least at the high school level, you absolutely need a physical. They're called doctors. You know, the ones that you trust to kill children at 9 months. Those people.
Like the one that they have in Ohio, where like one of the parents from the opposing team could be like, "That's a trans girl, actually," and then they have to literally go and traumatize this like young girl who, in many instances, is not. Statistically, it is highly unlikely that that person is trans to begin with.
So
and,
look,
and
again,
it ends up harming. It ends up harming cis women even more than it ends up harming trans women.
So that's look. I said this exact same point on trigonometry. And their audience hated it
because it's a bad point. It's a bad argument. These children, regardless of their sex or gender or anything else, if you play a sport, you have to get a physical. Part of that physical is the doctor looking at your genitals. If you find that weird, that is your problem. They are doctors. They're not just random people looking at children. Now, I understand. We've seen doctors go way outside of the scope of what science actually dictates. But getting a physical and determining, oh, yes, that is a penis. Oh, yes, that is a vagina, is not something I'm worried about anyone with a medical degree doing. In fact, even if you don't have one, I think you would still be able to do it. I would want the degree there to make sure that you're not one of the weird people. But point being, you don't need a medical degree to identify a penis or a vagina. Shout out to Zippy, the SML with the Rumble rant. Said, equality is equal treatment to equal circumstance. A man in a dress is a man, pure and simple. Indeed. Shout out to Robert Willing. Welcome to the party. So the real truth of the matter is that this pervert stuff being a problem is more than being just about targeting the kids. Okay, say more on that. What do you? I think I agree. What do you mean? We got an unwanted foe. No question, no comment, just pure love of the game. Oh, thank you so much, guys. 6 more, and I'm on the floor. Oh, and we got Box with another $5 out sponsoring himself. So there's no such thing as trans rights. We all have the same rights. I have no right to a bathroom or a sport or free healthcare. Indeed, sir. There you go. Is Bucks right wing now? Is he right wing now? Thank you. And again, out sponsoring yourself. Thank you. So very, very. Dude, are you serious? I didn't even say the word teacher. I didn't even say the word teacher. You're literally just making things up. I didn't even say the word teacher. Oh, how are you confused? Oh, you just must be gullible. Oh. You know how you said that before? 3-1. So if it was because I'm stupid and gullible, then you're just 3 times as stupid and gullible as I am. Your own, every single time on your own ideology, you can't even stand on your shit. It is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Oy vey. Robert said transgenderism is a problem for society, regardless of what age group you're talking about. Right. So that why? That's what I'm asking. And again, I think I agree. I want to I just want to know that I understand your point. Behave said the kid in kindergarten cop movie even knew the difference. Dilly, shout out. Oh, that's fucking funny. That's fucking funny. Wolf said if look at history, bad guys have always been right wingers. They're bad, they're good. Okay, whatever you say. Bro, calm down, bro. Bro, calm down because you're getting so triggered. Like, I'm not making fun of you at all. I'm just so mad right now. This is my angry face. Oh, no. You get me so angry. I just can't help myself. I turned into a little gremlin. That's what you do to me. I can't help it. Or maybe I'm just making fun of you. I'm surprised you didn't know that. You must be gullible. No. Stupid. You're just too retarded for this channel. You're not smart enough to be here. Bog said trans people are fine. I feel like it's just bait. I agree. I think I was waiting for Robert's argument because I generally don't have a problem if you you are that dumb. You are that dumb. What was the intelligent person saying? Oh, yes. I generally don't have a problem. No, not an ad hominem. I explained why you're dumb and then called you dumb for the reason. If I just said your argument is bad and I'm not going to listen to it because I was dumb, then it would be an ad hominem. But ooh, you are on. What is the opposite of being on fire? Iced. Yeah, I think adults should be able to do whatever the fuck they want. Wontek said Europe and Britain must hate trans people since they're going against the movement so much. How can that be? They're not usually the most conservative. Well, yeah, but they're bad, so they must be right. On the right, because the right is bad, and the right is the bad, and the right wing is bad. Dietrich says pretty hard to hide a bulge in a dress. Just ask Michelle Obama. And said science happens. Things we do that do not have results yet could be the cause of so many things. Like allow your brain to absorb things, maybe. I agree. You are pathetic. Dumb people should watch Young Turks. I think dumb people do watch the Young Turks. That was not a shot at you, Box, but I mean, come on, in general. Shout out to Sizemore. Welcome to the party. We are checking out Cenk's Giving. Cenk and Mr. Hasanabi. Do I? I think I would be in a really bad place if I was taking life advice from you.
On trigonometry, and their audience hated it. But this is the reality. The reason I make a distinction between high school and professional sports is because in high school, what you're saying is, like Ohio, if I really want to institute this, even though it affects almost no trans or cis girls, if in the world in Ohio as it is, but if I go to implement it, now I got to check everybody's gender. That's
the joke. Behave, because what was the other person saying that everything bad was right wing? So Contact was being sarcastic. We got anything? No. See, I don't freak out. It's a joke. I am making fun of you. I am making fun of you. Do you not understand the? Oh no! That's not actual real anger. That's me putting on a show to try to show exactly how retarded you are. And I've told you that explicitly many times in this stream, and you still don't get it. Shout out to Unwanted for more till we on the floor. Thank you very, very much. Oh, I forgot to update Box here. What was the last one that we saw? Sorry, Box. Let me add that. I always forget. What's 50712? Thank you, sir. The unwanted foe is a boy right now. I'm the foe. Thank you. Didn't realize we were dealing with a stream that thinks Michelle is a man. Will conserve brain cells accordingly. Well, said immigrants escape fascism and move to Western liberal democratic countries. Yup. Gabe said, love you all, even the retarded ones. Yes, you are. I said it. I'm going to try to be like Moot. So when I say a thing, it makes it true. You're mad. Did it work?
And there's got to be
this is where he's saying it again.
Ohio as it is. Like, but if I go to implement it, now I got to check everybody's genitals.
Why would you be checking anybody's genitals? Are you a pediatrician? Didn't think so.
And there's got to be a genital checker, right? And let me guess.
There already is. They're called pediatricians.
Yes. Tons of Republican older men are going to volunteer to check the genitals of our high school kids. And I hate it.
Because everything that we've seen with content creator sex stuff in the past 2 years has been from right-wingers, right? We didn't just see Destiny sucking off a dude, right?
I don't want it. It's like a groomer pervert factory, and they're going to probably put Jim Jordan in charge of it. No, okay? But when you get to the professional level, you get to the Olympic level, you guys
got it, guys. He figured it out.
Go right into their trap. And you go, oh, yeah, sure, they should be able to compete. When the overwhelming majority of the American people do not agree with you, you should let the Olympics and the professional sports decide it on their own. It is not a constitutional right. They have no so-called right to participate in the WNBA. I don't have a right to participate in the NBA. So,
well said. No. The left is all about science and doctors and such. So of course, the teachers will be the ones touching the genitals of kids. I guess that's the leftist world. So I was wrong. I didn't understand that the push here was to get rid of pediatricians altogether, because teachers should be the ones who have anything to do with children's bodies. That's what a teacher should. Oh, okay. Got it. Thank you for clearing that up on Montefo. I didn't understand. I also said the genital checker is progressive gobbledygook. Yes, because we have a thing called a pediatrician. I mean, in this moment, he very much is, because he forgot that pediatricians exist. Behave said Michelle doesn't have a penis. Michelle has the biggest clit to make horses' cervix break. Oh my god! Equality. Hold up. Equality. Have you not heard that there is a video out of supposedly Nick Fuentes, but that has not been confirmed, of, a phone here and Destiny's blue hair sucking a dick and trying to be all like sensual? And he was like, you gotta roll with the memes. It happens sometimes. Does it though? Not to me, but yeah, no. Go off and talk about how weird and sexual the Republicans are. Okay. Hey, Bucks, again. My goodness. Science is a verb, not a noun. So you're saying that I shouldn't trust the science. I should do the science. Oh, okay. I'm learning here. Carl said, I think it's malpractice even on adults. We don't allow lobotomies or amputations either. I mean, I see that point, but I just don't have, there's not, just from a libertarian mind, I don't see a reason why. Like, I don't necessarily see a reason why, if you're an adult and you want to get your arm chopped off and there's a doctor willing to do it, which there shouldn't be, but if there is, yeah, great point, Sizemore. We allow plastic surgery. How is that different? My concern is about the development of children. If you're 35 years old and you're trying to be a different gender, you're probably too far gone. Or you have legitimate mental health issues that can be addressed in certain ways. But the the I don't know for sure if it was him. That's just the rumor. But again, Destiny did confirm it himself. It's not. I thought it was all bullshit. But didn't he have a tweet that was like, "I did not come on Destiny. I did not put my dick in Destiny's mouth. I did not put." I don't know. That could be fake too. But who knows? Who knows? Again, I'm not the one who really cares about that. Like, we all knew he was a fruit. So, it's not like if some right winger was caught doing that, like some Christian right winger, that would be a scandal. But Destiny being Destiny is, just it. Behave. So the left wants to groom the kids into being confused perverts. Yup. MLC9 said even doctors aren't supposed to harm you, and removing healthy limbs is harming someone. I agree. And that's why I said the doctor shouldn't be willing. But from my perspective, I personally don't have an issue. If you are if there is some certification, or they're not certification. Well, I don't know why I said that. If there's some justification where that I'm not aware of, that, like, let's say you were born with one of these arms and you'd rather just not have it. Are you really gonna get your panties in a bunch over scary move? Take my strong hand. Like, if somebody's like, fuck this thing, this brings so much attention, if I just had a prosthetic, it would be better. I kind of feel like we don't have any justification to tell that person, no, you can't do that because other people might do weird things. Not my place. In my personal humble opinion. Sizemore said children is one thing, but adults doing their own thing. Republicans trying to get into each other's bedrooms again. Yep. That's why I'm staying away from that. I'm definitely not a Republican. That's why I'm distancing myself from the conservative, conservative label. Yeah, agreed. And yeah, that's why it's not. That's why it's not like a scandal or anything. It's just like, oh, Destiny. Destiny lied. Lessington was true. Fact check says true. All right, let's dive back in here.
No so-called right to participate in the WNBA. I don't have a right to participate in the NBA. So, number one, I don't agree when you go to those extremes. And number two, does it affect elections? Well, we had an overwhelming answer to that in the Trump-Harris contest, because Donald Trump ran the anti-trans ad,
Kamala
which was not
is for they, them. Trump is for you. King said, plot twist, it was his wife's new boyfriend cuck-maxing. There you have a cuck comment. All right, well, at least it's original. At least it's original. If you're going to talk about, well, if he dyes his hair again, you talk about his blue hair, you want to talk about getting cucked, you're gonna, all those things, then, be creative with it. Don't you, doesn't use a cock. Yeah, we all know. Quality Endeavor's headed out. Thank you so much for stopping by. You have a good night. I did get that one, right? Is it me? Bug said, when I do tell you he sucked a dick, I feel like you should just believe him. Yep. Yeah. Truth. Boom. All like that. Not under those circumstances. I'm talking about people who feel like they should be an amputee. And I hear you. I do feel like, again, I think doctors should be the ones to say, no, I'm based on my ethics. I took the Hippocratic Oath, so I'm not going to do that. But I don't see a reason why you would have a problem with it. I can see a reason why you would have a problem with trans and kids for obvious reasons. But what is the actual reason that you personally, knowing that the Hippocratic Oath stands, said we should not allow that? You know what I mean?
Contest, because Donald Trump ran the anti-trans ad, which was not about hating trans people, although of course it was perceived as such by a lot of people. And so, what it was saying, hey, you guys are giving free surgery to undocumented immigrants who are detainees who are trans. It's too much. And I agree, it is too much. 98% of Americans agree it is too much, right? So instead of saying, oh no, that you guys are right, that's too much, We did, and of course, sports leagues, that's fine. And of course, no, we're not going to pay for any surgery for a dude who just crossed the border a second ago, right? Instead, you guys go, no, let's fund. Oh, for God's sake. And you dig in, and now we're on a losing ground for no reason at all.
Can you tell me who on the Democratic Party's campaign was actually saying, like, no, we have to issue bottom surgery for undocumented migrants, outside of Kamala Harris saying that in an ACLU questionnaire in 2019? When faced with the question, what will you do for trans people? She just gave that answer, which was a bad answer to give regardless. But was there like a hyper focus from the Democratic Party's campaign that I'm missing?
So Trump starts running the ad, and it instantly jumps to the most effective ad according to Trump's internal numbers and according to Kamala Harris's internal numbers. So at that point,
that's also not true. David Plouffe literally said on the Pod Save America autopsy that they engaged in that the ad actually wasn't all that impactful at all.
Yeah, bullshit.
Oh,
I
don't
saw him
believe
say that. I know it's not true.
Hey, unwanted vote with 3 different $2 said, let's get. Oh, I didn't pull up the song yet. Hold on, I got you. Where is it? Active! That's the goal! We hit the goal! Hold on. Ah! Hold on. Let's try something a little different. Let's go with this. No. I want the rock. We like it. I like it. I can pop. Let's go. All right. It's Swole Stream. Who's on the Swole Stream? 20 Swole Stream push-ups. If you want to pay yourself, then pay yourself. If not, come on, everybody, let's go. Out of the way so you can see. Hooray! Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Fuck you, unwanted foe! You're a bitch! You're a fucking bitch! I ain't even counting you, bitch! You're a bitch-ass bitch, you bitch! Fuck you, bitch! Oh. Let's go! And that is how we pay ourselves! Put a 1 in the chat if you paid yourself for the Swole team. Who is on the Swole team? Let me see. Oh, thank you so much. Who do we got? Yeah, boss, it's the Swole stream, baby. That's what we doing. Sometimes say, fuck yeah, pay yourself. Let's do it. Hey, niggas with us. There we go. And Holly signed up as a new member. Welcome to the discipleship. Holly, if you are not already in the Discord, make sure you join because you now have full access, including the after party. Thank you. And of course, a treat for Morty. Thank you so very, very much, guys. You wish, JG. You wish. Push-ups are weird. Oh my God, you want to exercise? That's so weird. Why don't you be normal and try to chop off children's fucking... fuck you. I don't know. I did more than that, but I don't know because I didn't count. I didn't need to. Fuck you. Got you, bitch. Hell yeah. Hey, shout out to Right Click doing a damn thing. Let's go. Hell yeah. Morty's always like, what are we doing? Hey, we got Guamtech. Welcome, Indie Film. Good to see you. Good to see ya. Oh, thank you very, very much. Shut up, bitch. There you go. And Nick with the 25. Oh, pay yourselves, guys. And you know what? Let's pay Morty. Let's pay Morty. Why not? Why not? Why not? I'm feeling it. Thank you guys so very, very much. We hit that goal, and I'm getting swole. Thank you so very, very much. I need to catch my breath. I need to catch my breath. Let's dive right back in.
Actually wasn't all that impactful at all.
Yeah, bullshit.
Oh, you don't
saw him
believe it?
say that. I know it's not true because Future Forward, the biggest PAC that Kamala Harris said that the Charlemagne the God version of that moved the national polls by not the national polls, but for people who viewed it, it moved the numbers by 2.7 points nationally.
Okay.
That is gigantic. And they said it was the most effective ad Trump had. That's why he then doubled down and quadrupled down and wound up spending 20% of his entire ad budget on that ad.
I think
because both sides thought it was the single most effective ad.
I think that's literally the reason why Kamala Harris was able to actually catch up.
Let's see.
So perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that.
Hold on, let's do it. Oh, God damn it. Hold on. Wait, is this not for everybody? This is kind of just out there, but well, let me know if I should stop it.
Give them the power or meaning.
Wait.
So perhaps it is the context in which words are spoken that give them the power or meaning. I love you, dog! I just want to let you know how I really felt about dogs. No, that's okay. Don't be frightened. I hate your guts. As soon as the camera's off, I'm going to strangle you. Really?
Oh, beautiful. That was well done. Dietrich is on fire tonight. Dilly. No, guys, you missed the captions. Fox, that wasn't Morty. That was Mood. That wasn't Morty. That was Mood in the video, according to even Mood is saying it's kind of regular. Like, come on, man. Come on. I don't know, man. I think Mood Wolf might be taking your spot, bro. It might be taking your spot. King said, do we reset goals in real streams? What? What do you mean? Do we reset goals in real streams? I don't know what that means. That's how my dog looks when I stuff my crime. Yeah. Well, he's seen me like fucked up, and like at first, like now he knows what it is. Like if I've been, drunk or on this, that, or whatever. But when I, early on when I first started, he was like, "What is going on?" And he did not like it. But now he's like, "Oh, Dad wildin'."
I thought it was the single most effective ad.
I think that's literally the reason why Kamala Harris was able to actually catch up to Donald Trump on not only the economy because of their hyper focus on the trans shit, but
you said so many things and they're all wrong.
Was the single most effective ad.
I think that's literally the reason why Kamala Harris was able to actually catch up to her.
She didn't
catch up to Donald Trump.
She didn't
on not only the economy because of their hyper focus on the trans shit, but
again, the trans shit. Like, yeah, okay, thank you. I'm glad that I don't know, but the fact that she is, I don't know, the trans stuff hurt the Democrats. I don't know what other way you want to go about this, dude. So last stream. You said you didn't reset the goal because it was a vertical stream. I don't remember, but what is what are you asking me to do? What is the goal? No pun intended. What are you trying to get at? Are you asking me if I'm going to do another goal or what are you, I don't know. I just don't know what you're asking me. Holly said, you should have seen my dog the first time I tried gummies. She looked at me like, oh no. Yep, same thing. Bog said, now Morty can't can see here or hear much or can't. He's been since day one. We've been blasting music. This motherfucker knows what loud music is all about. But thank you for the concern. Quantex said, not gonna lie, when Lutz screamed after the swell, I honestly got mad hyped. That's the sound of a warrior, baby. Let's go!
You thought that helped Kamala Harris?
No, I don't. I think that this kind of hyper focus on a marginalized group is not moving people to go out and vote in any.
Why are you embarrassed? Just ask me what you're asking me. I'm the one who doesn't understand. I don't get. I'm the dumb one. Just ask me what you're asking me. I don't understand it.
Full capacity for some of the reasons that you also mentioned, but also because most people don't know who the trans people are. They've never met a trans person. They don't give a shit. They just care about the economy. And when you're hyper focusing on just like, trans people and like dominating trans people or some, even if it's something that they agree with, they're like, after a certain point, there is outrage fatigue. And I think on the trans issue, we like consultants and people who are hyper focused on the media care far more about the effectiveness of ads like that than the actual Americans that went out and voted. And you saw
Except
this reality.
We lost, they won.
No, I know, but okay. So
I mean, like it's so in the real world, they won, we lost. In the
that's why
in
you
the
have to
world
look at,
of consultants where they look at polling.
That's why.
What kind behave? What kind of dog?
You have to
won,
look.
We lost.
That's why you have to look at the broader campaign and what Americans were concerned with and why they voted in the ways that they did. And I think here's where you and I agree on.
So your position is, even though both sides overwhelmingly say that ad was the most effective ad and it moved people and it cost Kamala Harris tons and tons of votes, you disagree.
Yes. And the reason why I disagree with it is because, well, I don't completely disagree with it. And I'll explain to you why. And I think you and I are going to be in agreement with this. I think that the only way that ad is even remotely sticky when, or even remotely effective.
But it was like at this point when you're already speaking it, it's not a question of whether that ad was sticky or remotely effective. It was extremely effective. Full stop. That's not a question. That's not a question. It was.
That ad is even remotely sticky when
it was,
or even remotely effective when I still question the legitimacy of how effective the ad was.
Who's the fucking president-elect, bro?
Because there's plenty of examples of people actually defending trans people and then winning by resounding numbers all across the country.
It depends on what issue, though, Haas.
It's because the Democrats they stand for nothing. There is nothing that unites.
I mean, I'll drink to that. Any agreement with Hasan. Democrats do, indeed, stand for nothing. That's why they'll fall for anything.
The base of support for the Democratic Party. They are this weird big tent, third way neoliberal party that is constantly pointing to institutional norms and defending this notion of civility. If that is your overarching campaign strategy, then yes, if you stand for nothing, you will, people can turn around and tell others what you actually stand for. They can reframe what you actually stand for and say this is the type of stuff that they care about, actually.
Hey, shout out to the Chihuahuas. Dilly dilly to the Chihuahua mixes, to be exact. You have to join the Discord and drop me a picture of your puppy.
And therein lies the problem. And I think you and I will agree on this.
Hey, agreement with Wolf. All right, there we go. See, it's almost like you can find agreements with people that you don't always agree with because we're all people and there's things that we have in common. And it's not like there's a good team and a bad team. Crazy thought.
If it was like a Bernie Sanders style candidacy, if Kamala Harris was like, I want Medicare for all, that Americans are suffering. I want to fix the housing crisis by implementing a federal jobs program backed like, mass housing boom that will actually fix the housing markets in all these big cities and all across the country by building a shit ton of houses. No public-private partnership, none of that. No opportunity economy language whatsoever. We're gonna just build, baby, build. Okay. If those are some of the key markers that you're focusing on, this does two things. Okay. This does two things. Number one, Republicans are reactionary, so now...
Shout out to L. Welcome to the party. Said, I'm sure the Nazis is a bad team. Sure, but do we have any actual Nazis that we're talking about, or are we just calling people Nazis because we don't like some of their ideas? If we're actually talking about Nazis and fascists, then yeah, I agree with you. But we're not, so that's the point there. But welcome to the party. I mean, it depends. Like, yeah, they're leaning one way or the other, but that doesn't mean all of like the other thing about the younger ones is that they're more polarized. So the ones that are left are going to be really left. The ones that are right are going to be really right. I don't think there's as much, and I don't quote me on this, but I imagine there's not as much of centrism in Gen Z as there is in Gen X, for example. Oh, you mean y'all will fall for anything? Because that totally wasn't just somebody be like, oh, look, now we can say there was real Nazis. Weren't they not in Antifa clothing? Why would we assume that those were not Antifa Nazis?
Oh, they have something that they have to fight against. And if they don't have anything to fight against, they're going to find new edge issues to make everybody pay attention to, no matter how silly or stupid, right? So now they have to fight against that policy and present why that policy is bad. Now they have to sit there and lie about why giving healthcare to every American is actually going to be devastating because they're backed by their corporate donors. So that's a major issue with the way that the Democratic Party operates in general. And I think you agree with me on this, right? If you give them something to fight for, if you give them something to fight against, they're not going to find new ways that find new things that they can just like draw a wedge on. So that's number one.
Okay.
Number two.
That was number one.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
The second thing is when you don't have this
I didn't claim anything. I asked a question.
Broad, very obvious policy that you like earnestly are fighting for, that you have been able to communicate to like the majority of the population, like this is my North Star. This is the key defining issue of the Democratic Party this election cycle. Okay. All of a sudden,
I would not be surprised. Two in one day, that would surprise me. But
when you cave and capitulate, the second point I was going to make is when you cave and capitulate the right-wing framing on these issues, the only thing you end up doing is basically admitting that the Republicans are right. And the Democrats have done this on immigration. The Democrats have done this on policing.
The Republicans, indeed, when it comes to immigration, all right.
The Democrats have allowed the Republicans to dominate the space over and over and over again, and they've done it with trans issues as well, or they're doing it now with trans issues as well. Just call it out for what it is. It's a simple distraction. This is not going to put food on your table. This is the way that the Republican Party gets away with being in the pocket of billionaires openly by saying this is the only thing that the Democrats care about.
So the working class overwhelmingly voted for the Democrats, and the billionaire class overwhelmingly voted for Trump, right? Oh no. Oh, okay.
Trans people are your neighbors. They're not your landlord. They're not your boss. And they're not the reason why.
Is he saying that trans people can't be landlords or bosses?
What? By saying this is the only thing that the Democrats care about. Trans people are your neighbors. They're not your landlord. They're not your boss. And
that sounds transphobic. I'm not well versed on the rules, but that does sound transphobic.
They're not the reason why healthcare is so costly.
Yeah, right.
Okay, they're a tiny group of people in this country that just want to live their same.
Are you
same lives? They literally have the same exact class interests as you. They literally also have to pay rent at the end of the day. They also still are harmed by the same shitty.
This is what I'm telling you. It is the left that has been racist. It has been the left that has been bigoted for the last at least 10 years. At least 10 years.
Job opportunities that people have. They also are worried about not being able to own a home or retire at a reasonable age. The idea that these people are the reasons as to why you're experiencing economic anxieties is silly. Don't ever have this conversation.
That is an insult, and don't do that again. So this is a warning. I'm considering that an insult, and so don't do that.
That's what I say, and that's how I deal with it as someone who is obviously.
I was just being, conservative there,
somewhat radical in my pro-trans message overall, because.
So look,
it's silly. It's a nonsensical position that you.
It's almost like he explained it before that, so they didn't need to.
even recognize is nonsense.
So let me start with the agreement and move to the disagreement. So
more like all the liberals being like, wait, what's the argument against the tariffs? Like, the prices are going to go up. On the thing. Okay, well, I missed that. And please don't be calling people retards. Tag ideas, not people. You can tag anybody on the screen, and I can tag anybody of you. But you guys keep it a buck.
So the agreement is super important here.
Guys, chill.
Because you're right. And this ad.
Hey, Box, again. Thank you for the $5. Said, I don't know any trans folks in real life, but the last one I came across tried to beat me up. They are not weak or harmless. They're fellow citizens. Indeed, they are fellow citizens, but they can be not weak or harmless because they're grown men. Thank you very, very much. Out sponsoring yourself. No, I mean, I asked you your interpretation of the tariffs policy, but yeah, sure. Just speak things into existence. It's true because I said it. I say things and it's magic, magic.
Is, in a sense, the perfect symbol of, in my experience, you only agree with half of this, but the merger of what is wrong with the Democratic Party's corporate wing and the radical left wing. You smush them together. We'll get to labels in a minute. Okay, so you smush them together and you have this ad, and this ad helped Trump win and Kamala Harris lose. Why are you smushing them together? For the exact reason that you explained, Hus. Because if they were like Bernie Sanders and they were economic.
Got the math. Thank you, Box. Very, very, very much appreciated. Okay, well, we're not calling people retards. Not doing it. Not calling people retards unless they're on the screen. You can call me a retard all you want. We're not doing that in the chat. And then, hey, when we get to Discord, you can say whatever the fuck you want, but not here. Okay, fine. It's not an insult, but you can't call people retarded anymore. See how that works? I am the overlord, except for Morty.
For the exact reason that you explained, Hus. Because if they were like Bernie Sanders and they were economic populists, Bernie can say, why are we talking about that issue? We should be doing higher minimum wage and we should be doing universal health care, et cetera. And then now we're having a real conversation about things that affect people's lives. And Kamala Harris can't do that because she's too busy pleasing the donor class.
You can say whatever you want. You just can't call people either of those things.
Right?
Tony West. Shouts out to my man, Tony West.
And who cost us the election more, that ad or Tony West? Not close. Tony West. Okay, so Tony West, who's the Uber executive, that's her, brother-in-law, told her, "Oh, you know what? You're too tough."
Ah, we got a party switcher. They switched, guys. They just switched.
On corporations, instead, you should give them a big bear hug. Go out there and put out that 90 corporate CEOs sign a letter saying you're awesome and that you'll work for corporations and do everything that they want. Bring in Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney pulled a 13%. Liz Cheney is one of the most unpopular people. Progressive Data for Progress did a poll that showed the more she campaigned with Liz Cheney, the more she lost support. She lost.
Yeah, true. The parties did switch over the last 8 years.
Enthusiasm. It was a super dumb idea, and that cost us more than this ad did. This whole idea of, oh my God, I love big business, and I'll do everything big business tells me. Look at Mark Cuban. He's on every cable channel telling you that I will do whatever the fuck business interests want. It's the worst idea in the world, especially when you're running against Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's going, hey, here's a billionaire, Elon Musk. I'm just going to give the government to him. And here's another billionaire, Miriam Adelson, and I'm going to give foreign policy to her. And here's Tim Mellon, weirdo guy who inherited all of his money and douchebag who wants tax cuts because he's just rich and earned nothing in his life. And I'm going to give him tax cuts for the rich, right? But they never make that case because they're corporate douchebags. Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, all of Democratic leadership. And so these guys are never going to win another general election. The American people,
let's hope,
hate them. They should hate them, okay? And so what the right wing doesn't understand is both the populist left and what they call the woke left, I call radical left or whatever, we'll figure out the label in a minute. But in this case, you're on the right side. You say the corporate interests, the donors, right? So
He's saying the anti-woke are on the right side. Is that what he's saying?
I call radical left or whatever. We'll figure out the label in a minute. But in this case, you're on the right side.
Who is he saying on the right? He said the right doesn't understand when it comes to the woke right. So which one is he saying is in the right?
All of Democratic leadership. And so these guys are never going to win another general election. The American people hate them. They should hate them. Okay. And so what the right wing doesn't understand.
Okay. So we're talking about what the right wing doesn't understand.
Is both the populist left and what they call the woke left. I call radical left or whatever. We'll figure out the label in a minute. But in this case, you're on the right side.
So you're saying what the right doesn't understand. In this case, you're on the right side. Are you saying who's the you're? I mean, I'm going to assume he's saying that the woke people are on the right side. But that's a very oddly phrased statement. Bucks, again, keeping the party raging. Said we changed tie colors. Easy. Yeah, right? It was just like that. It's just like that. That just happened. Thank you, sir. Out sponsoring. Yo, god damn. So, we got a new funk master in the building. Just kidding. If you're listening, I'm kidding. I'm giving my love to Bucks. That's what she said. Nick said all the people I've known that fly the Confederate flag have been Democrats, and I live in California. Just telling you what I have experienced. That didn't go the way you think it did. And even if it was, ask me how I and the people in this chat feel about Confederate flags. It's almost like we're not a monolith. It's almost like Donald Trump is not a typical Republican. It's almost like the coalition of people who support Donald Trump is not the same thing of the GOP of the last 100 years. Crazy. But no. The parties switched, guys. They were the good guys, and then they were the bad guys because they were like, we just want to be the bad guys now because we're the bad guys. Okay, dude. Behave said, well, you're a tiny bit pushy and hateful. It's fine, but you can tone it down a notch. Hate just a little bit less. No enemies here. We got a Christian. We got an atheist, right-leaning person, and a left-leaning. I don't think you call yourself a leftist, but a left-leaning person, all agreeing. Whoa, hang it up. Dems seem to be pretty war nowadays, pro-war nowadays. Yeah. The party switch happened like as of Trump, like, but yeah, no, the whole that didn't happen. That's not a thing. Shout out to Mighty Sarlacc. Welcome to the party. Good to see ya. Yeah, not yet. That's later. I said shit. Me too. My first vote was for Hillary Clinton, and I will never, ever, ever, ever get over it.
We'll figure out the label in a minute. But in this case, you're on the right side.
Okay. So how many wars did Donald Trump start? None. Okay. How about Joe Biden? How many wars did he start? 2. Okay. All right. Okay. Of course you would argue that because you just want to say things that you want to be true. But people who are, based in reality, flip this the other way. These are Biden's wars and these are Trump's wars.
We'll figure out the label in a minute.
Yeah, because we were already at war. He can't just be like, okay, everybody come home. We're just going to leave everything there. That's the 2. Putin started the war by doing what? Coming to America and bombing America, right? Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Both the populist left and what they call the woke left, I call radical left or whatever. We'll figure out the label in a minute. But in this case, you're on the right side. You say the corporate
Do you though? I bet you don't.
interest, the donors, right? So, and the populist right agrees with that. So that's actually an interesting point that we should come back to, a point of agreement we should come back to. But the part where we disagree, Haas, is you say, well, if they're digging in on a wedge issue, ignore it. But Kamala Harris literally did that. They had a giant debate about whether to address it or not.
No,
they even pulled ads
You're
where they addressed it.
You're misunderstanding
and they decided, oh, let's not address it.
You're wrong.
It
They literally also they did this with immigration, especially. Like they were like, we're not going to ignore it. We're just going to get ahead of it. And what they did with immigration, they're going to do with trans issues next election cycle. And it's the same principle over and over again. It makes you look like a hypocrite, and it makes you look like the Republicans were right all along. And the only thing it does is prime your base into conceding. And
can we also not simp on people in the chat, please? Thank you. We are all here for political discussion, not for dating.
Agreeing with the Republican framing on an issue. If
so
there
what
was
do you
any
do instead? What I say is I delineate. So when you say, hey, Andy Bashir runs against it, but which issue? So if you're talking about constitutional rights, you fight for trans rights 100%. You're talking about military, you fight 100%. I'd fight on bathrooms. I'd fight on high school. But I draw the line on sports. I draw professional sports. I draw the line on giving free surgeries.
That's the thing.
Then you could defend your position and get back to where the great majority of American people agree with you.
You want to know why there's no reason to draw any of these lines? Because Kamala Harris did actually bring this up, which I thought was like, especially because like she didn't have a clear or consistent position on this at all. It was like it was left out there in the dark. But like Trump did the same thing as well for undocumented migrants.
Say that I know.
It's just like it's a thing that nobody gives a shit about until people are primed into caring about it. That's my point.
Yeah, that's politics, bro. Not everybody is spending 10 hours a day on their computer talking, thinking, reading about politics. Other people go to go to work, have jobs, have kids, have things to do. So it's not like that's not a flex that you know more about the thing that you spend all day talking about. That's not a flex. Like it's good if you are proficient in a thing, great. But are you going to tell me that the construction worker who doesn't fucking have the time to read into all of that stuff, that you're a better person than that person? Are you better at construction than that person? It's almost like you're just good at it because you do nothing else.
It's been happening for a very long time for prisoners that want to get this component of healthcare, and nobody technically gives a shit about it. It's already like a incredibly tiny, minuscule, marginal percentage. So it doesn't matter. Like it ultimately doesn't matter. I'm saying.
Oh yeah, no, it's an issue, but it doesn't matter because I just said it. It doesn't matter. Shout out to Box again. My goodness, with the blessings and keeping the party raging. Let's see, Marty. Let's go. Where are you, Marty? Oh, what's the matter? Come here. Is it raining? Oh, you're scared? Here, come here. Come here. It's okay, Bubba. Come right here. Mort. Come here. It's okay. Mort, come here. Look. Bubba, come. It's a good. Is you okay? Yeah. Good job. Good job. Come up here with me. Come up here. There we go. Look at the little scaredy boy. He's so scared. Oh, my good boy. He's scared. He does not like the rain. All right, where are we here? Oh my goodness. Wait. I gotta do math first. Wait. 20%. Okay, we good. Oh boy. Speak of the devil. No question. No comment. Just pure love of the game and the overlord. Thank you. So very, very much, sir, and welcome to the party. Always good to see you. A pillar of this community, Funk Master General. Yeah, we already hit the swole goal. So, if you want to do your thing, pay yourself. Yeah, he doesn't. I don't know if it was Thunder, but he hates the Thunder so much that like in the summer, they like 2 or 3 years ago, actually a little, maybe like 5 years ago, they legalized firecrackers in New Jersey. It used to be illegal. And so that was never a thing. And then they legalized it. And so in the summer, every night it would either be a thunderstorm or there'd be fireworks. And so when the weather gets warm, he's just terrified. Like if you guys were here like in the early days, in the summer, I would move this chair back to where the guitar is because he just wouldn't sit in the chair. and he's doing his Chihuahua shake in my lap right now. So yeah, he's a little scaredy boy. Behave said, I'm a Christian independent voter. I'm not a fan of either party, but one thing is for sure. The left has lost their minds. They are terrifying me. Thank God for MAGA. Oh. Agreed. MAGA. Hell yeah. He said, Funkmaster General should be renamed Sugar Daddy Big Bag So Cash. I'm with it. I am with it. Black Salami said, who among us can challenge the whale whisperer who among us calls his cause unjust? Let him cast the first windmill. Wise words, sir.
Minuscule marginal percentage. So it doesn't matter. Like it ultimately doesn't matter. I'm saying if the Democrats had something to, if Democrats had, it did, but it didn't. And I'll get to
it did
that in a second. If Democrats had something that they were fighting for, nobody would give a shit about this. That's the point.
Yeah, but that you
brought up
true, but that also doesn't mean that the trans stuff didn't hurt the Democrats.
Bernie Sanders, and you said, oh, healthcare, universal healthcare. Bernie Sanders has also said trans rights are human rights. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like,
but that's the difference between 2016 and 2020.
It's not like Bernie Sanders. It's not like Bernie Sanders himself is saying like, yeah, trans people, we got to cut them out of this bargain.
Trans people, you guys are just making that up.
No,
based. Talk about based. You're just making that up. You're just making that up. And guess what? If anybody was to come to me and say, we should end all trans people, I'd be like, hey, I don't fucking agree with you. That is a wrong thing. And I would argue just as strongly as I'm arguing anything else. You're making it up.
He's saying like, yeah, trans people, we got to cut them out of this.
Love you too, buddy.
Bargain.
Trans people, you guys are just making that up.
No,
but when you frame it that way, you get
all
these crazy
Republicans
people
are
online.
saying that. Republicans are saying that.
No, I know, but we're not saying that.
No,
I know. These crazy people online who are like, oh my God, if you don't agree to free surgeries for every trans person,
y'all literally set the world on fire. Y'all literally set fires. What are you talking about?
Planet Earth, you're a Nazi. Well, you know.
Ooh. Human rights are trans rights, not the other way around. There you go. You are a human first. You get human rights. After that, whatevs. Do what you want. These two guys give me the ick. Yeah.
Know those people exist and those people.
Okay.
That is the radical left, and they are stupid, and they do cost us elections.
No, you're hyper focusing, and I've had this conversation.
He said that like 6 times. That's not an argument. You're hyper focusing on what, and how is that a hyper? How am I focusing on this more than I need to? Very clearly, that is what people are focused on. So he is also focused on it because he's in politics. So being in politics implies that you're going to talk about politics. And in order to get people to listen to you talking about politics, you have to understand politics.
Privately with you many times over. You are hyper focusing on people that are in your replies on Twitter and
Nope. I'm going to call, before I'm looking at his face, I'm going to call for Cenk projection. Why he thinks this is because, again, we're talking relatively. The Twitter replies that Cenk gets are going to be a lot more what's the word? Like much more in line with your average Democrat voter than somebody who is on Hasan's page. Now, of course, it's not going to be 1 for 1, but in aggregate. And so even if that was the case, that still is a better metric to go by than your own Twitter replies, but he's not saying I'm going by my Twitter replies and you're going by your Twitter replies. But the difference is that his Twitter replies, again, are going to have a better representation. It would be really, 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 really bad for Hasan to only go by his Twitter replies because it's an echo chamber. And as much as I think TYT is to some extent as well, I mean, he kind of there's always some level of like, bias. But I wouldn't call it an echo chamber in that same way. At least not over the last 3 years.
Are hyper focusing on people that are in your replies on Twitter, and because that's all
that radical left
because
is
all interact
stupid dumbasses. Do you agree?
There are a million people that are both in your replies that have also gotten mad at me as well, time and time again, on specific issues, maybe ones that even pertain to trans rights. Okay? It literally doesn't matter. People get very passionate.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter. All these people care about these things and vote on them, but it doesn't matter.
Understanding. I'm very understanding.
Shocking agreement. I agree. There's 13 douchebags online. That's what I said from day one.
I know, but why the would you ever hyper focus on
but
people like that?
No. So
yeah, we're trying to change that so that they don't come here.
Who might be doing the right thing? Hold on.
You're doing the Bill Maher thing. You're demanding that there needs
bullshit.
Hold on, let me explain. Soldier moment.
Bullshit. Where's that from? Hey, my goodness. My boy. Box said, Cenk is easy to gauge. If Cenk does his job, you should know he wants the money out of politics. Full stop. Fair enough. Yeah, I do think that he has been pretty consistent on that being his thing for as... Did you drop it? Oh, you silly boy. You silly boy. All right. You get a freebie because I know you're going to eat that one later. He got an extra one, guys. He got a free one. But thank you to our new and still sponsor, Books. Thank you very, very much. Agreed. I think we all want money out of politics. But I mean, we were talking earlier about how whether or not Cenk and by extension TYT is grifting. And I'm far from the spot where I'm be like, this is clearly a gift. I see this as a genuine evolution. And again, I'm willing to be wrong, but it seems genuine. I mean, I don't know what to tell anybody. Context says, as Cenk says in this episode, Kamala brought up the trans surgeries because of the leftist propaganda, which is a big reason why she lost. Indeed. Hasan is sweating. How important is what question? I don't understand what you're asking. Moving on. Thank you, sir. Did I update that? If I didn't, I will do it.
The Bill Maher thing. You're demanding that there needs
bullshit.
Hold
on,
let me explain. Soldier moment.
No,
No, you're trying to.
So the minute we said the most reasonable things on earth, which you now agree with, apparently, then what happened? It wasn't just the 13 douchebags online. And by the way, everybody said, no, those 13 douchebags represent all the left.
Oh, wait, are you mean to say how is that the important question? Oh, how, comma, is the gotcha.
You're not on the left anymore because the 13 douchebags control the left. And then what happened next? Then Majority Report jumped in, and Lance from the Serbs, and all the other little dirtbags jumped in, and they were like, "Yeah, Cenk and Tanner are turning right. The 13 douchebags are right. We need to protect every trans person should get free surgery."
We got.
Before we continue with that, Carl says, I think the Supreme Court case got it right on money in politics. It's a form of free speech. Few people want money out of politics, just their opponent's money. And I don't necessarily disagree with you. I in the conceptually that there you go. Bullshit. Dilly to you. But what was I saying? I think that money is a form of free speech, but we're in this crony capitalistic society where it's not like we can't just go to a completely free market. If we already had a free market, then I would absolutely say that I completely agree with you. But there's already so much bullshit that's happened that I don't know how to word this properly. Like there's so much bullshit that's happened that we need to fight the bullshit to get back to a place where we can operate on this type of mindset. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense, but I think you know what I mean. Black Salami said politics is an excuse to argue and roast people. To me, nothing more. Well, it's a little more, but you know, projection. So you were against the vaccine mandates then, Wolf, correct? Like someone said, name one politician that cares what they say in office right now. And Mood said Bernie. Oh, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Oh, so you're privileged. Oh, now it all makes sense. Now it all makes sense. You're privileged. Got it. You don't understand. You're like the people, fuck your economy. I need my pronouns right. Yeah, that's privilege. That's privilege. Whoop. Oh, okay. What did it say? Yeah. One more time, Wolf, and you're the fuck out of here, bitch.
Douchebags are right. We
need
to protect every transportation
listen, we got
even in China.
Okay,
even though we have nothing to do with China.
You gotta
we
stop.
hate them. They're Nazis.
You got to okay.
I mean, I'm 100% right. Every dirtbag show did it.
You got to
Every dirtbag show did it.
Get him.
Tell me I'm wrong.
This is reframing an issue that is now we've moved away from the electoral consequences of a trans ad to your own personal anger and frustration that you have with left-wing media online. We are
so do you agree left-wing media online?
We are
those guys that I listed are full of shit.
Marcus says, no, I am Wolf. What the fuck?
And in a tiny, stupid minority?
I have disagreements with everyone in this space, but there's a reason why seemingly I don't catch the same amount of strays that you do because I don't hyper focus.
I can tell you what.
Cenk's going to tell you because you're in an echo chamber. We are definitely not all Marcus. Hey, I mean, you're in the Discord. You see what Marcus does, and wait, come on. This is what Marcus does. So I think. We started with free markets, but then we stopped with the free markets. That's how we ended up here. If we had stayed with the free markets, then we'd be good. It was all these democratic regulations to give the corporations more power than the small businesses. And now we have the Walmarts and Amazons of the world, and nobody can compete with that. So the fact that already exists. Okay, I mean, it's fine. Definitely not arguing against that. So Reagan definitely absolutely had a big part of it. I'll take that back. But more recently, the attempts to fix that have been from the left, and it's not been working out. And but either way, and again, I have no love for the Republican Party. I am a Trump fan. I am MAGA, but fuck the GOP, fuck the Republicans, fuck Mitch McConnell, fuck Lindsey Graham, fuck all of those people. That ain't me. I voted for Hillary, which I still hate, but I did do it, and I was a Bernie bro, and I was a never Trumper. And it was all based on the ability to look at how people believe things and make sure before you glob onto an idea, before you accept an idea as your position, you make sure as best you can, because we're not perfect, you make sure that it can't be torn down. And again, we're not going to be perfect with that. Is that him though as well? I feel like I don't remember, but shout out to PR in the building. Welcome to the party. Yeah, who's Amy? I don't care. But yeah, that's what we got. no, I'm better than the GOP. What you talking about? Are you going to tell me? You're going to tell me that Mitch McConnell is worse than Donald Trump? You're going to tell me that Mitch McConnell is not worse than Donald Trump? You're going to tell me that Mitch McConnell is not worse than Vivek Ramaswamy? You're going to tell me that that Mitch McConnell is not worse than Ron DeSantis? Come on. You can hate them all. You can hate them all. And I would completely understand. But Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham are worse.
Come on, man.
I don't What do you think it is?
They think you're hot.
Right. Exactly. Because they suck and he doesn't.
Young. I don't mean attractive. God bless on that. Okay. I'm also obviously hot.
I think it's an agreement that he is an American psycho. Should we take it? Let's take it. Let's take it. Dilly dilly. Gavin Newsom is indeed a psycho that happens to be American. That's not how you spell psycho. Dilly dilly to Gavin Newsom being the most insane person in government.
Hot, young. I don't mean attractive. God bless on that. Okay. I'm also obviously hot. I mean, as in they think, oh, the young people watch Hasan. He's cool. And you give the thing of like, oh, no, trans people.
And when they say young, they mean young.
Well, right on everything, right? You don't come out and make the distinctions that Anna and I made. Okay. So they think, oh, no, he's good. He's extreme as we are.
I think
he's woke left. Yay, extremeness.
I think the reason, first of all, you're
okay. By the way, majority report and all of you guys, you better attack him. He apparently agrees with me. Okay. You better attack him. You're not going to attack him, are you?
You're
Get the fuck out.
Yes.
You're hyper personalizing this into like criticisms that you've received.
Punches you in the face 12 times and you go, whoa. Why are you hyper personalizing it? Just because I called you a Nazi? Now it's personal to you?
Myself.
And notice how this is the same structure of what was that podcast called with Ethan, where it devolved into a Israel versus Palestine argument, and like the entire Discord was just calling him a Zionist pig and all that shit. Like, yikes. I got pee.
What? Why are you hyper personalizing it? Just because I called you a Nazi, now it's personal to you?
Because you, majorty report,
but I never changed my policy. All of this is,
and that's. I mean, I feel like so this has to be Marcus, right? This has to be Marcus. Whoever's Marcus, we're getting made fun of. Oh man.
You, majority report,
but I never changed my policy. All of
this is inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. And whenever there's like drama, for example, I've been getting attacked mercilessly by my former podcast co-host that has been actively trying to deplatform me for the past 2 months because he thinks that, or he's claiming that I am creating a space that is anti-Semitic. The way I've dealt with that,
aren't you though?
For the most part, is by just actively ignoring it leading up to the election, because I was like, this is some silly nonsense. And in the aftermath, I covered some of the broader points, and I moved on. If you extend the conflict that way, instead of trying to find
Hey, shout out to Dick Cider. Welcome to the party. Give me 1 second. I got my dick out, and I'll be back.
A reasonable middle ground, and even show humility in a certain, even show humility instead of saying I'm right. There's never going to be any sort of real solidarity.
Wait. Did I just hear Hasan? Say show humility? Did he just say that? He didn't say that. Oh my goodness, Dixon Cider, come on up here. No, you can come back. You want to come back? You want the treat? Okay, you take the treat. 10 gifted memberships. Thank you so very much. And of course, a treat for the Overlord, my co-host, Morty. Thank you so very much, guys. If you got a membership, make sure you are in the Discord server, because your membership gives you full access to all of the channels, not just the free ones, including the after party. As soon as we are done here, we are headed over there. No YouTube censors, no being stuck behind the keyboard, and you can say whatever the fuck you want. Come on through. What exactly is wrong with anti-Semitism? It's identity politics bullshit. So, not about it. Yeah, they're bad. They're bad. Splitting, eh? Splitting, eh? Give me a shout out. Give me a shout out. Be like, yo, if there's anybody who's cool here, you'll double watch Indian Jesus while you're watching TSN. I'll do something. I don't know. Thank you.
Idiots who are wrong.
Because I
like what does humility mean? Like, oh, maybe you're right about your dumb opinion that's going to cost us.
Wait, what? This is a brand account channel. Oh, wait. Are you sure? Turn the well. First of all, you're already a member, but turn on. Forget. You guys with the TSN guys. They're very good about telling people how to turn accepting gifts on, because this is a brand account. But I've gotten gifted memberships. You just have to turn it on. So who? No. I mean, somebody from TSN. I know they talk about it all the time. At least put it out there, and then Box can say, "No, I've already tried that," or we can try it and whatever. Carlos says, "Try it on a computer." Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like there was the same thing when I was over on their channel. They were trying to give me a gifted membership, and it wasn't common. It was like, make sure you have memberships turned on. So how? I think it's the 3 dots at the top of the chat. It's not on mine, because I'm running the chat. But yeah, play around with that, because there's definitely a way. There's definitely a way. This is a branded account as well. Shout out to Funk Master General said, "Fuck you all. I'm the sponsor of this channel. I'm the sponsor of this channel." He said, "Free Marcus. Free Marcus." Well, Marcus is free and wild. See? He's not banned. He's free and he's here. Well, see, normal people are friendly to everybody until there's a reason not to. That's like a usual type of human to human interaction. I know you need people to show you that they're part of your club first. But normal people are just nice because they're nice. Or even worse, because they're Christian.
Who are wrong.
Because I
like what does humility mean? Like, oh, maybe you're right about your dumb opinion that's going to cost us this election. Okay. Maybe you're right about your dumb opinion that gets the majority of the country to hate us when our economic positions are overwhelmingly popular. Maybe you making us intensely unpopular when we should be focusing on universal health care, higher wages, paid family leave. But you idiots hate policy. All you want is identity politic bullshit, and you think that drives ratings, and you want me to show humility to those morons? None.
Let's have a
That is how you do the damn thing. Shout out again to Funk Master General, but shout out to Cenk for doing the damn thing right there. Show humility. Oh, there we go. So if you're on the phone, click the 3 dots and go to gift settings. Regardless of your account, that is where you should be able to toggle accept gifts or not, and then you good. Thank you, Dixon. Very much appreciated. I'm very, very. You think? So give me a character. Give me a character and like what like who they're supposed to be, and then and we'll see. This will be my audition.
A meta conversation really quickly about the ways in which branding works online. I am of this mindset that every single person is far too busy and far too self-involved to pay attention to the more nuanced conversations that others are having on any particular issue.
Right. But instead of understanding that, well, they don't understand that because of the fact that they don't have time. And I understand that because I give it the time. And then I'm not better than those people because they know things that I don't, and I know things that they don't. Because if I wanted to do what they were doing, it'd be the same things if they tried to come and do what I was doing. But yeah, humility.
This is why, even when there is like a faucet of smears that I am attacked with clips that are completely out of context.
When did I say the immigrants are the problem? I'm a first-generation American. My parents are immigrants. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Context.
It's almost like you're fighting ghosts, homie. Like you're fighting ghosts.
Address it and I move on. Okay? I address it and I move on, and I come at this conversation with an understanding that most people are not fully aware of what my analysis is on any particular matter. This has happened in the past with, me purchasing a house where people have made a big deal about it. It's okay. And I, at that same, even back then I said, look, people are angry. People are frustrated with their position in society. People are frustrated with the lack of opportunity. And in that process, when they see rich asshole like myself, buy a house, they're going to get mad at me. And there's a healthy amount of anger towards wealthy people there that I agree with as well. I think they're misdirected
because I'm not a wealthy person, but other wealthy people should definitely we should be mad at other wealthy people. But us, no, we're the good wealthy people. Well, yeah, again, that's what I'm saying. You already have the membership here. So you're not going to get, I don't think, actually, I don't know how it works. They might give you more, but the little thing, that means you're already a member. You already good. You already good, son. What was I just saying? Where is it? So I was not a huge watcher of well, I was, but it's been a while since.
I don't believe that's.
You're through, Zuko. You're through, Zuko. All right, what am I saying? Robin from Batman not giving up during a fight. I don't care. You've beat me down so many times, but you're gonna have to kill me before I stop. I don't care if Batman's gonna. No. I feel like that was pretty good. I don't know. I just heard it for a second. Correct. He is not anti-immigrant. He is anti-illegal immigrant. So, your chat was arguing if you should be deported not like a week ago. No, they weren't. What are you talking about? Or maybe we were joking. Because that did not happen. What's it for? Said, what identity politics did Trump start? Just saying immigrants isn't identity politics. The issue is illegal immigration. Yeah, that's not an identity. Yep. He said legal immigrants are illegal. Trump says legal immigrants are... notice how there's nothing there. News about mass deportations. We've got a picture of Donald Trump. Okay, let's see. What do we got?
We're going to have to seal up those borders.
He made immigration the centerpiece of his campaign.
We're like a garbage can for the world.
And when he's back in the White House, President-elect Trump has promised to immediately crack down with mass deportations of people in the country illegally.
On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history to get the criminals out.
To do that, Trump has said he'll mobilize the military and local police. But he's offered few specific details on how it will actually work. With 11 million undocumented people living in the U.S., the process would be expensive and complicated.
Why is this
One
like
report puts the price tag at an estimated $88 billion a year to hire new ICE agents, build detention camps, and carry out legal processing. Ron Vitello was acting ICE director during the first Trump administration.
I'm sure it's very expensive. It is something that's worth doing to preserve the rule of law, to order what's going on, the chaos at the southwest border, and to preserve an immigration system that has integrity in the United States. You have to set rules and you have to enforce those rules.
Trump says mass deportations are justified by a 2-centuries-old law, but some legal experts on the left say Trump's interpretation is way off.
It is not lawful to use the centuries-old statute to deport people. It was for a very specific purpose. When
it's not legal to use the law,
foreign government invades this country. That is not what's happening with immigrants here.
Trump made immigration a major focus of his first administration with mixed success. He built part of a wall on the U.S. border with Mexico and separated families who crossed illegally. Now, in places like North Carolina, this family lives in fear they could be separated. Jenny's husband, Isabella, and Mackenzie's dad is undocumented.
I was afraid that one day they would come home and he wouldn't be here.
So he lives in the shadows. The family asks we don't show his face or share his name because they worry he could be deported.
So I'm not hearing anything from Trump here, but let's keep looking. Okay.
Today, our cities are flooded with illegal aliens. Americans are being squeezed out of the labor force and their jobs are taken. By the way, you know who's taking the jobs that are created? 107% of those jobs are taken by illegal aliens. And you know who's being hurt the most by millions of people pouring into our country? The black population and the Hispanic population, because they're taking the jobs from our black population, our Hispanic population, and they're also taking them from unions. The unions are suffering because of it.
I already told you I'm an atheist.
Thank you. Thank you. I like you too. Thank you very much.
Yeah, what a bad guy. What a bad guy. Crazy.
Directing their anger at the wrong person. But ultimately, I move on. If I spend every waking moment covering, the anger that I'm receiving, and if I spend every waking moment covering like things that are out of context, then I'm not going to be able to, I'm just going to be that. I'm going to be the person who's responding to drama all the time when I feel like there are far larger, more consequential issues at play.
Now, let me take the other side on the meta conversation.
Yep, he did run for office. He didn't run for the right to fuck animals, but that was a thing where we looked up the clip one time. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he did mention it.
Hyperfixating on not only a very small sliver of society that is, in your honest opinion, has been openly targeted as like the major reason as to why people are angry, is offering legitimacy to the right-wing position. I think there's a more effective.
It's almost like it's correct and accurate
way of communicating that, and it's something that I do on a regular basis, which is
I'm with you, Cenk. That head shake and eye roll was I mean, I felt that in my bones.
Communicating that, and it's something that I do on a regular basis, which is, this is a simple distraction. You don't care about this. And the people that do hyperfixate on this are weird and gross. Leave people alone. Let people live. These people are your neighbors, and they and yourself are more aligned on class issues in more meaningful ways than you think. Stop hating on people that you don't understand. Mind your own damn.
Projection. I didn't even dilute it. Yeah, stop hating people that you don't understand, like the average Trump supporter who hates the Republican Party. Many of us were Bernie supporters, and we're just not this fucking redneck Bible-thumping character that you've created. Gone Detective Lunch did voice acting. He'd probably be typecasted teenager or young adult protagonist. He's got the fighting scream and can channel his edginess to great effect. It's not a phase, Mom! I really feel like this, all right? Susie said Susie's mom lets her wear makeup wherever she wants, and just because she's a girl? I like my eyeliner, I like my girl jeans, and if you want to take them away, then we are not a family anymore! How'd that go? I feel like. Not, you know what I mean? Behaves. I'd rather watch ants eat my body alive than watch TYT. Oof. I'm gonna assume that was that for me. Really? Oh, thank you. I mean, hey, maybe I'll look into it. I never really thought about that, but yeah, he could do that. So he could do that better than I could play a Hasan fan. Dixon said, "Damn, that was so good. I forgot I was going to time." Hey. Oh no. My powers are not for the. I know you're only 7 years old, but we are still going to have a crazy relationship because it's anime, and this is what we do.
In business, Tim Walz does a fantastic job with this, and Andy Bashar has done a fantastic job with this. They're both very popular governors that you like.
Are you not aware that there's like millions and millions and millions of people who went from Bernie to Trump? Tell me you're out of touch and in an echo chamber without telling me you're out of touch and an echo chamber.
With this, and Andy Bashar has done a fantastic job with this. They're both very popular governors that you like as well.
But that's literally my position. All right, so listen.
But the reason why people don't think that that's their position is because people see the clips. People see clips out of
I
context.
know. What do? They see clips on douchebag shows who are purposely misrepresenting our position and pretending that we're against all trans rights. So, your position to that is surrender. Okay. And no, I never surrender. So look, and here, let me explain why, though. Why do I think that's surrender? Because we've tried this, Haas. So let's, on that meta conversation. So we tried it with Trump. So Young Turks viewers will remember in the beginning when he first started running in 2015, I thought he was so illegitimate that he was doing it as a con, which by the way turned out to be wrong.
Who?
Trump. And we blurred out his face. First we didn't show him, then we blurred out his face, and then eventually we gave up and started showing who he was. Ignoring the beast never works. So then I remember when,
but these
hold on, let me finish the point. When Dave Rubin came out and started lying, 100% lies, lie after lie after lie, we ignored it because we're like, what, that mental, right? But then the lies started to take root because he goes on Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan's like, oh, really? Tell me more. Oh, my God, Dave Rubin's so right. And then he went on like 100 shows. And so then Ben Shapiro and Daily Wire comes up, more gigantic, and Crowder comes up. And we're like, oh, these are pimples on our ass. Who
Please don't. Please don't. You're not going to have a good time. I don't want you there.
cares about Shapiro? He's so small. Crowder, who cares? He's tiny. He's microscopic. Who cares, right? And we didn't address them. And you know what happened? They festered and festered and festered. And next thing you know, Dave Rubin, everybody started to think, oh,
hey, I ain't watching this shit. I'm trying to get paid for making this shit. All right.
I wonder if he's right about the Young Turks and they have some evil, nefarious purpose or something. Then we started fighting back and we crushed that mother. Now he's a laughing stock. So whenever anybody thinks of Dave Rubin, they're like, oh, yeah, he's that dumb guy, right?
Yeah, but that's not because of you. That's also because of
it's not because of them.
Majority Report, ironically enough. And people like myself.
I know. When we fight back, everybody hurts.
No, the point is, it's not.
People who say Bernie to Trump pipeline is for people who think socialism is causing communism and doesn't understand that socialism and communism are both bad.
And
it's
so,
not just
it's
you.
Never us. We never get any
the reason
credit.
Why I'm bringing up the reason why I'm bringing up Majority Report.
I mean, he's not skinny.
And myself in this process is because, like,
we're both fucking grifters that don't really care about anything except getting views and saying whatever's going to get us views. Oof.
The reason why I'm bringing up Majority Report and myself in this process is because, like, ultimately, right? We are all aligned on virtually every.
Oh, I'm not going to stop you. I'm certainly not going to stop you. You are more than welcome. I'm just letting you know that based on what you've said, I don't like you as a person.
Every single issue. So in many respects, you feel chastised individually. You feel like you've been outcast by the left or whatever, like the media representation of the left.
They're not the left. I'm the left.
Okay.
No, 100%.
Okay.
You agree with that.
Okay.
No, Cenk. You wish you were the left. I wish you were the left. Hasan is the left. The left left both of us, Cenk. We were the left. Hasan is the left. End of story.
Please, just listen.
No, because we have to.
But you're not the singular force.
The idiots are making everyone think they are the left. They're like, we're the left. We're the real left.
And they are. They are. It is not a club where you check boxes and you're either this or you're that. It's the voters. If you vote for the Democrats, if you support the Democrats, then you are the left. And most of those people are more like Hasan than they are like Cenk.
Okay, we are super extreme. We want free surgeries for every criminal. Yes, we're the left. And Nazi. And Haas, what happens? People think they are the left.
That's why I said based on what you've said. I didn't say I know you. I said based on what you've said. I don't know you as a person. Based on the things that you've said. So just based on the things you've said, I don't think you're a good person. I could be wrong. Been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. But I don't think I am.
So if you say you're right, Cenk, those are the extreme idiot left.
I don't think
you are the
left,
extreme, then I'm okay.
No, I don't think those are the extreme idiot left. I think that there is going to be a diversity of thought in any issue that people have. And it's a matter of who you make your enemies in the finite amount of time that we have on the space, the finite amount of time that we have.
Nope, he is welcome. We don't have to do shit. It is free to all. I'm just saying, I personally don't want him there. But if he joins, I'm not going to kick him out or anything.
Living on planet Earth, it's about the economy of time and utilizing it appropriately. I don't spend any time. I do not spend any time.
Just let him attack you and sit there and don't correct anything. Let all the lies
behave. We're not going after other people.
Fester.
Okay. Yes.
Wait, you didn't let me finish. So Dave Rubin, now he's a laughingstock. Then Jimmy Dore comes
because Dave Rubin is a right winger.
Yeah.
Majority Report is not.
So you're saying
you are in agreement with.
Okay, fair. Dixon said, I don't think it's the case that more Democratic voters are like Hasan than Cenk. Those tend to be the loudest voices. Fair. But when it comes to like when he was bringing up before about how, you know, she was Kamala was being influenced by things like that, and you know, the transgender bathroom or the transgender surgeries for all that stuff comes from the far left, not the jank left, whatever that is. So yeah, maybe they are fewer but louder. I don't think that really undermines my point. Because I think the same counts on the right. That, you know, the people who are most extreme and most far out there, who are not excised by the right. So like a Nick Fuentes is like a normal Trump voter doesn't consider Nick Fuentes as part of the club. But the people who are the farthest right, who are considered in the club, your Laura Loomers, your I don't even know, because I'm not there. That's not me. I don't know. Wolf did not get banned. That's what I'm thinking. All right. Okay. All right.
Dave Rubin is a right winger. Yeah. Majority Report is not.
So you're saying
you are in agreement with the majority report.
No. Hold on. Let me finish the thought. The thought. So on Jimmy Dore, he comes in. He goes, "Oh, they're paid by Nancy Pelosi. They're paid by the CIA." Lunatic, right? And so we let it fester. Finally, we're like,
"Oh yeah, that's right. I did that. Stupid. I did that. Yeah. So just to be so everybody is aware, if you delete a chat on YouTube, it still shows up on my StreamYard. So even though you deleted it, I still saw it. Shout out to Box again. So they went and had Turkey Day after. Well, yeah, they had turkey dinner right after this, and I think that's actually a good lesson for you know, people who, you know, in general. Like I put out a poll on my community tab about, you know, how many of you had crazy political arguments at your Thanksgiving dinner, and most, I don't remember the numbers, but the overwhelming majority of people said no. So I think it's a positive thing that we're let's say 3 or 4 years ago, I don't think that would have been the case. And that's a good thing, because there's more people voting for Trump, and it's being more normalized to talk about politics in general. So we're moving in the right direction. Behave said, personally, I love my private healthcare. I work at Kaiser, and I see how bad Obamacare has harmed the American people. It gets worse every year. Yep. Explain, please. Dietrich says, that's hilarious. Oh, let me give you a monopolized demographic of capital, and you tell me that you give all your shit away for free. Welcome to America. We don't owe anyone else shit. Yep.
Like, get this out of here. And we tell the people truth, and we crush him. Now he's a joke on the internet, right? So we go on, and anytime we don't fight, it festers. Anytime we do fight, we crush them, and we move the on, and nobody thinks Jimmy Dore's the left anymore. Nobody thinks Dave Rubin's the left anymore.
So we kind of chopped up this conversation, but the basically what's happened is, you know, they're talking about Jimmy Dore and Dave Rubin. People have beefed with the Young Turks, and Hasan is saying, "Yo, you just got to ignore that shit. When you address it, it blows it up." And he's saying, "I can't." Well, that's what we tried to do. We ignored it, and then it festered and became a huge thing. And now it's like, oh, we're avoiding it. That, in case you need a catch up.
We moved the on, and nobody thinks Jimmy Dore's the left anymore. Nobody thinks Dave Rubin's the left anymore. And so now these guys come and attack us, going, "No, we're the real left, we're the real left." And you're saying, "No, don't crush them. Just let them fester and people pretend that they're the real left." We don't do that. If you're going to say stupid, and you're going to try to punch us in the face, we're going to punch you back, not on our behalf, on behalf of Democratic voters who you are lying about. The Democratic voters do not agree with you. They agree with us. So sad for you, and I'm not going to let you lie and pretend that Democratic voters are on your side.
All right. Well, between was it Dixon said it right? Yeah, between Dixon and Cenk, they have convinced me that my previous statement was wrong. They're right. They're not the left. They're just the loudest part.
Because you're a liar, and they're not on your side. Do you agree that the Democratic voters are on my side?
I don't care about the Democratic voters.
You don't care. You don't care. You don't care. It's a fucking game. It's a fucking game to you. Thank you for admitting it.
On whichever side they're on right now, we've lost the plot. Okay.
No,
we've completely lost the plot because now the conversation is about like the serfs or Majority Report, and I think that's a completely and utterly unproductive conversation to have.
Your strategy is when grifters on the left attack you, whether it's
Okay. I can do a poll. So I want to ask you guys because they do have a little bit of an abortion talk here. That's not too long. I think we can get through some of it if we want, or we can continue here. So should we? I'm not correcting that if I mess it up again. Should we stay here or jump to abortion? Stay or abortion. Like I said, when I initially planned to do this, I planned on making polls for each chapter, and we would go like, oh, what do you guys want to do? Like we've done before. But as I was watching, I was like, okay, this is actually playing out in a way that I kind of like. Yeah, I'll leave it up to you guys, and shout out again to all of our donations here. I really, really, really do appreciate you guys. Let me look at it. Just look at it. Look at it. Just look at it. Look at it. And of course, Nick got us started. Oh man, that is hilarious. No, I am not. Welcome to the party. Not yet. I'll get high a little bit later. But no, I am MAGA baby. Welcome to the party. Interesting. The worst kind of people I've met in my life are leftists like you. You are, yeah. I haven't met you, but you're still up there. 70% said abortion. All right. So they weren't talking about it like right at the beginning. So let me see.
Yourself explode the prisons, but in back of it's very is fundamentally bro. It has nothing to do with the actual draconian circumstances. And in the absence of no one actually fixing the material circumstances, you're saying, well, in the process, we should just like criminalize more shit. And I think that's
illegal in the third trimester. I'll address a couple of things.
In the process, we should just like criminalize more shit. And I think that
I'm not sure I understood what you're saying, but I'll address a couple of things. First of all, on the abortion analogy, I think that abortion should be illegal in the third trimester, but there should be, of course, an exception for the life and health of the mother that the doctor decides.
You have a good one. Peace.
Along with the mom. And if the Republicans say, no, that's too broad an exception, okay, we could have that debate. So, but I'm not sure how it relates.
Yeah, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. You said, what did the wolf wish you Merry Christmas or say God bless you? How dare they?
What? To this. So
I'm not even in favor of like criminalizing abortions in the third trimester. I think
that's fine. We disagree on that.
Yeah, that's liability, not conviction.
Yeah.
So, and again,
but do you understand why?
But the great majority of the American people agree with me on that.
Yeah. My job as someone with a perspective is to try to get other people to understand where I'm coming from on this issue, and I think I can try and communicate. I did as to why criminalizing third trimester abortions, which is an incredibly rare procedure to begin with.
It is incredible.
And Cenk knocks it out of the park here. He knocks it out of the park from a left-wing perspective. So, or rather, a pro-choice perspective. So I don't agree. I think that life begins at conception. I believe that actually, yeah, I think I do agree with this position here. Let's see. because who brought up? Yeah, Box said safe, legal, and rare. Like I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I think that Roe v. Wade, the Roe v. Wade, and fucking what was the other one? And Brown, whatever it was. But Roe v. Wade and the other one that were in effect but not codified for like 50 years. That was ideal. That was ideal because we have people who want no abortion and we have people who want 9-month abortion. That's not going to change. So we had safe, legal, and rare. And then everybody had to push it, and now everybody's fucked. I mean, I hope that they ban abortion, and that we can understand that a medical procedure, necessary medical procedure, inherently is not an abortion. But yeah, Cenk knocks us out of park.
Why? Criminalizing third trimester abortions, which is an incredibly rare procedure to begin with.
It is incredibly rare.
It's an incredibly rare procedure to begin with, is only adding additional legal hurdles in an otherwise incredibly traumatic experience that the carrier is going through.
What
and
it's doing is
completely unnecessary.
Making your position look extreme for no reason, when the great majority of the incredibly rare cases are a medical necessity. Almost all of them are a medical necessity. Once you put a medical necessity exception in, you're needlessly making your position look more extreme by saying you're allowed to abort up until the day of the delivery.
Exactly. I've never heard it put that way before. But why are you arguing for 9 months when we on this the pro-life side already agrees with the exceptions? You admit that it's a rare thing, but you're pushing for that. And I actually just want to let Cenk continue.
No, there's always going to be.
And it's also not correct.
No, it is.
I think
you cannot get a third trimester abortion that is not already
because we compromise. That's why, Dietrich. That's why. Rare, because even though it's legal, it's not a good thing. It should be legal to some extent, but that doesn't make it a good thing.
Incredibly complicated medical procedure.
That's right.
Which is illegal. Why? No,
it is illegal.
No, it's not, because it's illegal. There are states where there's no legal restrictions on third trimester abortions, but the reason why it is unnecessary and conciliatory to the Republican position that is born out.
Everybody here has kids, but me. Like, what are you talking about?
Of not real truth of the matter, but instead hysterical, made up hallucinations, like women are getting fun abortions after carrying a pregnancy to almost term, is because you're adding an unnecessary legal hurdle on a complicated medical procedure that is automatically limited by its own complication.
If you do that policy, Haas, the Republicans
it already exists.
No, I get it. And by the way,
yeah, Black Salami said, they said my mom would die if she gave birth to me and my brothers. She's still here. I don't think the 2% of medically required abortions are worth anything. They sell the baby organs, right? I mean, I feel like that's what else would you want them to do with it? Like, I've heard that talked about a lot, but like fetuses have stem cells. Like, you just want to throw it in the garbage? What? Like, how does that change things? I've never understood why that is a specific thing. Now, if we had the people who were selling, and I may be answering my own question here as I'm thinking, if it was the people offering the service who were incentivizing the abortions for the purposes of selling the baby parts, then we could see that they're trying to kill the babies to make more money. I don't feel like that's the case. Can anyone tell me that I'm wrong with any legitimacy?
And Republicans do use that in debates.
So
and what it does is it hurts abortion rights. It hurts abortion rights because what winds up happening is they go, oh, these sons of bitches want to abort right up until the day of the abortion. And that's why they're so extreme. Make sure you agree with us 6 weeks. Wait, how the hell did we get to 6 weeks? Everybody already agrees to 24 weeks. Yeah. 24 weeks is the correct standard.
You know what they
24
said?
weeks.
Right. So by being super extreme, then you cause an equal and opposite reaction. Right click answered because if the baby's organs have value, there might be an incentive to have abortions. I mean, okay, but it's not the parents that are selling the baby organs to the abortion clinic, right? It's already medical waste. And so I get that, but like this is a genuine question. Do we think that abortion clinics are focused on the selling of baby organs over the government money that they get for the abortions? I feel like that's not really a thing. That's what I'm questioning. Does it? Like, does it? How? I just don't think legal should be the term under a subsurface level of minority cases. What do you mean? It says put another motivation for the abortionist, less altruistic than they claim. Sure. Planned Parenthood is known for selling the right, but again, they're not paying for the babies. They're paying for they're getting paid for the procedure. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, why? Well, we wanna sell baby. No. Sorry, Dominic. That is absolutely true. And Slime, I don't believe you, but we can see. But again, let's say Slime 81 here is being legit and it's made tens of thousands of dollars off of this scheme. How is that affecting women who are going to get the abortion or not getting the abortion? That's the question. It's the cultural and political push that might be getting some kind of donor money from places that buy organs. Okay. Both are big business. Fetal tissue is sold for jab production and development. I like if it's already going to happen, I just don't necessarily have a problem. Because again, like if I would have to see a direct connection between the incentive for the abortion clinic and how that incentivizes the woman to get the abortion in the first place. Because if I'm a pregnant woman, what the fuck do I give a shit if you're going to make money on my baby's parts? That's not going to affect my decision. That doesn't, unless you're going to pay me for my baby's parts, that would be an issue. But if the clinic is getting money, then how does the woman, how does that affect the woman's decision? They lie and tell the woman it's not alive, for the example. Okay, that's not selling the parts. It's incentivized push more propaganda that raises abortion rates. Okay. I feel like that's not. As we're talking about the optics of the and efficacy of the argument, I just feel like that doesn't really move the argument. I don't feel like that gets you any points in the argument. Like, it doesn't seem like a useful talking point. I don't know.
Takes
you know what they say after
women
that? You know,
and you to protect the women beyond
now
that.
They say post-birth abortions. It's ridiculous, but they're going to keep
when you have the
repeating
correct
it.
position,
it is ridiculous.
The great majority of Americans agree with. You could easily beat back that extreme statement that they're making.
You cannot concede or cave.
What was that?
Extreme statement that they're making.
You cannot concede.
Weird little cut there.
You could easily beat back that extreme statement that they're making.
You cannot concede or cave or capitulate to right-wing framing, especially when it's not born out of the data or the reality of the matter.
You're saying I think it should be illegal.
They make people look
the third
crazy.
Trimester. But I think it should be illegal in the third trimester.
Okay.
Why? Because I agree with you. It's exceptionally rare and almost all the time it's medical reasons, and people don't have abortions for fun.
Right. But yes, they do. But
especially at that point, because it's such a
I totally agree.
Such an invasive procedure to
I
actually
totally
conduct
agree.
that automatically limits the number of people that can get it regardless.
But
they still do it. That's the point.
Matter of law, should you be allowed to get an abortion because you chose to after the fetus is viable? And I think the answer is no. Once the fetus is viable, it's an independent.
Right. Yeah. But this is an entirely different question than the baby parts, selling of the baby parts. Like, I agree, but that's an entirely different thing.
Independent human being, and you don't get to make that choice on your own without a consultation of a doctor saying, yeah, no, you're right, your life is in danger?
Fetus viability will improve with medical science as well. Does that mean that like if in the future the fetus could be viable outside of the womb?
Yeah,
then, like,
take it out and you deal with it. Yeah, I think it's okay.
That's crazy.
You think it's so? You're saying if a fetus is viable and the pregnancy just got started, and somebody says, "I'll take care of that baby,"
do you understand the process?
No, I don't want to.
Do you understand the process of taking it out? That is also an.
I was paying attention to this, and yes, you can get stickers. We have, where are the accessories here? Accessories, stickers. Boom, right there. You can put it wherever you like. That's me and Morty. You can get a little sticker. You get 2-inch, 3-inch. You get a 6-incher. Oh my God, 6 inches of lunch right there, baby. But yeah, I was paying attention to that. Did he just say that if the baby can exist, absolutely can. Head to TheIndianJesus.com. Actually, let's do this right here. God damn it. God damn it. Did I just do that? No, I did. Boom. Plenty of stuff. Like I said, we got stickers, we got women's stuff. We got women's clothes, we got hoodies, V-necks, all these different kinds of t-shirts, the V-necks, the hoodies. Check it out. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he just said, if the baby can exist outside of the womb, it's still okay to kill it. I could be wrong, but I think he just said that.
I'm saying if a fetus is viable and the pregnancy just got started, and somebody says, "I'll take care of that baby,"
do you understand the process?
No, I don't want to.
Do you understand the process of taking it out? That is
just as a normal part of conversation. He's like, yeah, just kill the baby. Just kill the baby. Okay, dude.
And somebody says, "I'll take care of that baby."
Do you understand the process?
No, I don't want to.
Do you understand the process of taking it out? That is,
we do have crop tops.
Also, an invasive medical procedure.
But you're saying in the future when it's possible. Of course, I'm not saying now.
But fetus viability can happen at what, like 6 months? Let's say a premature baby can exist outside in a vacuum. Like the fact that you have to still cut a woman up to be able to get that out is like,
I know, but we're not cutting her up, Haas. We're just saying you have to finish the pregnancy.
Stupid.
No, I fundamentally disagree with you on this.
Okay.
That's insane. You chose to get pregnant and you don't want the child, despite knowing what sex does. You got pregnant. Now you have a way out. You don't have to care for that baby. All you have to do is carry that baby to term. And then it's out of your life forever. Nah, kill it. Kill it, says Hasan.
Okay, no problem. We'll
I'm
disagree.
just letting you know.
In the third trimester, by the way, my standard is the Roe standard, right? You're going beyond.
Well, hey, guys, remember, if you send me an email at TheIndianJesus.com, I don't have free Morty stickers, but send me an email at TheIndianJesusOfficial@gmail.com. I want to have your emails because we never know when the rules are going to change and when the channel could get nuked and all that kind of stuff. If we have emails, then we'll always be able to contact each other. And like, I wouldn't have anything to spam you. So I just want to have an email list in case of anything. So send an email to TheIndianJesusOfficial@gmail.com and I'll get you some free stickers. Thank you for reminding me. Yep, and month 69, so babies can and have survived at 24 weeks delivery, including my brother. And I think he might have been earlier than that. He was super preemie. He might have been earlier than 24.
In the third trimester, by the way, my standard is the Roe standard, right? You're going beyond Roe. Roe said illegal in the third trimester.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't like my statement is
I'm saying
no. Roe applies a minimum standard. That's the most important. That's the most consequential aspect of Roe is that there is a minimum standard that states cannot go beyond. And I think that it's valid to have a minimum standard as a federally protected mandate. when there are plenty of states, as we saw, that already had automatic trigger laws that would implement if Roe v. Wade was overturned. As long as there's a minimum standard, then that's good. I would go so far as to say that there should be
minimum standard, meaning federally, this many weeks is legal. Is that what that means?
No legal hurdles whatsoever, especially considering that the third trimester abortions, as you and I both agree, is not like a fun abortion, especially because the process in which you're
it's not fun, so it should be legal.
The process in which you're getting to a third trimester is already laborious to begin with.
So strategically, I bet we have a disagreement here.
So then don't get pregnant. Crazy that.
When I look at the abortion issue as an example, Republicans say that it should be either 0 weeks or 6 weeks where the woman loses her rights, right? Loosely speaking, the right wing says that. You're saying the entire 9 months it should be up to the woman, and I'm saying 24 weeks. So now the majority of Americans think 24 weeks. But if we go with your 9 month strategy, Haas, what I'm worried about is, is that we're going to wind up at 15 weeks instead of 24 weeks, because the Republicans are going to say, look at how extreme they are. Look at how extreme they are. They're saying that you should be able to, whether they do.
Define viable, Indie Film. What exactly do you mean by viable?
Or they
well,
don't.
Regardless of the majority position, the Republicans did undermine the democratic process. I think you and I are aware of that, right?
What do you mean by that?
Like, regardless of how good of an argument that the Democrats could have presented on this issue, the Republicans still went in. What did they do? They used the Federalist Society over the course of 45 years and basically, beefed up the ranks of the Supreme Court and actually did undermine public opinion on this matter, the democratic principle on this matter.
Yeah, and so BK was saying, no joke, well, my mom was actually born from rape. I swear on the Bible. We believe you. I love her, and thank God my grandmother had her. I love my mom. The rape wasn't their fault. The rapist was at fault. Yeah. That's you. What did I do? What did I do? Are we still here? Okay. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Sorry. And yeah, I'm definitely sorry to hear that situation, but it's obviously a positive thing that she was kept, she was born, you were born, and we're all here now. And it's just a really sad state of affairs where there's people who are so good at not even intellectualizing, but making it an academic conversation, that they just don't understand how substantial the cultural impact of something like abortion would be. And I was there once. I was a clump of cells type person. I just didn't know any better. Contact said we should commission a Morty Cthulhu. Is that how you say it? Cthulhu? Everybody says it differently. Hybrid sticker. The Overlord's true form, only held at bay by donations. I mean, if anybody's an artist, we could just slap that shit up. And yeah, Andy, my dad bought 3 or 4 shirts this weekend. Did you get anything from that? Anyway, said Bible is able to survive. Baby is able to survive outside of the mother with medical intervention. So before that, it's not murder, in your opinion. Is that what you're saying? And true, we are all a clump of cells. Very much, very true. Very, very true. Oh, honey, sweetie baby. I hate when people say this, but I'll move on because I like you. Dixon said it's legitimately interesting to hear these two talk strategy, saying that they have to use the slippery slope to get to the true goal. Yep, that's exactly why I was interested in showing this to you. And Nick said, to be honest, I don't think that's helpful to call people murderers for abortion. That just puts people on the defensive in a way that they will never see your side. It's just counterproductive. I agree that calling people murderers is not a good tactic. But they are. So how then do we spread that message without being accurate? I'll leave you guys with that. Big shout out to everyone who donated. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Every single one of you. You blessed me. You blessed me. Let's get active. Holly joined as a member. Box was dropping it like it's hot. And then, of course, Spunkmaster came in and was like, no, this is my house, motherfucker. But Dixon came in with the 10 memberships. Guys, remember, if you got a membership, you have access to the after party. So come on through. I'm very, very, very excited to hear what you guys have to say about all of this. And, of course, we can't forget our boy Zippy with the Rumble rants. Thank you. But so, yeah, obviously, we're past the 3.5 hour mark, and we still have an after party. So we got to cut it here. But there's plenty more of that. I suggest, you take some time and watch some of the stuff that we didn't get to cover just to see what, to see what it is, like Dixon said, it's interesting to be a fly on the wall for the other side. So, the fact of being able to understand is a big benefit. Magical thinking is gay. All I know about him is that he's gay. Like Salami said, tell him if the sperm is alive, the baby is alive. I don't know about all that. Hey, shout out to Indie Film, who doesn't really understand how the goals work. We'll give Morty a treat, but you missed the goal, so that's not how that works. But thank you very, very much, sir. Thank you. Nick, what's in here? My dude said a big thank you to the chat and a big thank you to me. Thank you guys so very, very much for being here. I know that you could be spending your time doing literally anything else, and you didn't. You were here. You were in the conversation. A bunch of you dropped some cash. Like, oh, man. Thank you so very, very much. And again, if you are a member, if you're not a member, it starts at only $2.99 a month. That's at least 12 after parties for $3, half the cost of a cup of coffee. Come on through. It's a good time. Until next time, guys, once again, this is Morty, and I have been your host, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, I am out of here. What's the word I usually use? Peace!